Right,
That never
one more
happened.
time.
Run that shit back.
Hey guys, welcome to the 16th episode of the Melee Stats Podcast, starring me, SaveAsUntitled.
Me, Edwin Budding.
Me, give me that wheat.
Young Waff. My name's Brandon. How are you guys? How's everything?
It's good, it's good. And for people who might not know you off the top of their head, Brandon, can you give like a little bit of background of what you've been doing, in the Melee community, stuff like that?
I play Melee, and then I go to tournaments. People know me from talking on a microphone while other people are playing Melee. And yeah, that's pretty much like what probably most people know before. Aside from that, I live in NorCal, live in the Bay Area. Yeah, that's pretty much my intro. Commentator, caster, that's the label.
Yeah, your legacy speaks for yourself.
Melee
Uploader
player.
of videos.
Yeah, uploaded videos, hosted tournament. I've just been around doing stuff, just whatever. I just do things, and yeah. still here, still here, man. Glad to be here with you guys too today.
All right, it's all you, Edwin. Take it away.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about this week. So we're going to start all the way in Mexico at Smash Factor 7. So a lot of storylines to talk about here, but why don't we start with the return of Nintendude, the MDVA turned NorCal Ice Climbers and Marth player? What do you guys think?
I'm mad at him, first off. Okay, so dude comes in here, and so first off, I just want to say this. I do not have any hard feelings against anyone who wants to stop playing Melee. Like, that's completely good. If you have, any reason why you don't want to play Melee is a good reason. That's how I view it. So I'm not mad at him for not playing. I'm mad at him for not playing and then double eliminating Javi.
I'm gonna correct you on what you just said, but continue what you're saying. Go ahead. Continue what you were saying.
I mean, like,
the supposed to keep
guys
going
having
on?
fun playing Marth. That's all good. And then, I see his locals. I see all that losing to, Spark and Kevbot and all those people. But then going up and beating Javi, I just want to see Javi do well. So I'm mad at seeing that. So Brandon, what were you gonna?
All right. So Nintendo has never stopped. It's just he stopped playing Ices.
Yeah.
And the struggle has been real. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, he goes to Maids, and the struggle is real. For whatever reason, that tournament, I don't know why he's decided to pull the Ices out.
I would have loved it if he went Marth.
Yeah, I was kind of glad to see the Ices just because it's just like, just because a lot of times Mike could just win a tournament and he'll just champ it out, which I respect 100%. But sometimes you're just like, damn, dude, just go Ices, man. Like,
I mean, more high-level Melee is never a bad thing, of course.
Right, right.
So, like,
but
he messed up meds, dude. You see that didn't look close.
Top 50 player meds.
But yeah, Nintendo, he's been on the grind. It's just he's really about that Switch. Like, he just doesn't think Ices are good enough. But for whatever reason, he used them in Mexico. So I don't know why, but
yeah,
I mean, it worked. I'm happy to see him do well.
He's always been really good against Fox. That match in particular, because one thing I've mentioned this about Nintendude on the show before, but he's really good at like he's not a campy will blizzard you kind of shoot ice gold stick on one side of the stage. Like, he will aggressively chase you down if he has a read on your movement and scrap. Like, I talked to him about what he thought made his Ices different a while ago, because I was writing something about him, and he mentioned he's like, one of the things I think people don't understand about me is that I naturally like scrapping and fighting my opponents. He's like, I'm not good at. He's like, I hate playing campy people. I love chasing them, but I understand that because it's Ices. Like, sometimes you gotta do what you think is right.
Yeah, they're limited, but he's always been like one of the more aggressive players. But he's been active, especially locally. He goes to all locals and teams.
Yeah, he's had a ton of maids.
It's just he's been Marth I haven't seen Ices not one time. Wasn't that play, and he never picks Ices. So
The set against Armada was kind of brutal, and like I'm not gonna hold that against Nintendude for losing to Armada, but like
yeah, you gotta watch.
Yeah, it was like not. He just straight up looked overwhelmed by speed. But like the foundations look like they're there. It's more like maybe like the more he brings them out at nationals or bigger tournaments, the better he'll get with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth trying, especially if he's been using Marth a lot back home. There's no reason to just abandon him during the national. So I'm glad he tried it. I mean, Icy's Peach sucks anyway, so it's like, what are you gonna do? You know, might as well go Marth. Like, yeah, I respect it. But
another cool thing from the tournament was Bimbo's massive losers run. He lost early to an Ice Climbers, I think, and then beat Mojo, Far, You, Meds, and DJ Nintendo before losing to Nintendude as weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild. He beat a lot of people who are good against Falco too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, I don't know what it is with like Mexican or like Latin American players. They're just so like sick, dude. You know, I don't know why.
Oh, for sure. That'd be like the most fun region to just like if you were dropped in one region and you didn't know what Melee looked like, and if you were in Mexico, can you imagine how sick you thought Melee was?
Yeah,
I wonder why they don't travel.
Yeah, it comes natural to them, man.
Yeah,
they're so sick. Like,
dude, you're in your hometown, and your PR is 90% Foxes and Falcos. Why would you spend hundreds of dollars to go play, some Peaches or Puffs or whatever, all that?
Get timed out in New Jersey at Royal Flush.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It just comes natural to Latin, like not even just like Mexico or Puerto Rico. Like it's just I don't know. Those players have always played. They always have a unique way of playing too. So
Brandon, was there anyone that came to the United States and like did really well before? Excuse me, before Javi, like in the post Brawl era or so? Anyone you can remember?
Armada.
No. I mean, like, okay, obviously Armada from another country. Clearly, in this context, I was talking about Latin.
No, I know what you meant, but I had to. Other than them too, I don't know. I think like Lord HDL did really good, like a pound. I know. He's the Peach player from Puerto Rico?
XL0.
XL0 is doing really well at tournaments. Trying to think of who else Latin America. Obviously, like Javi Twin, his twin brother. Eddie Mexico. Trying to think of like, are you talking like good at like a super major, like on some Armada, like top 8, like something like that?
I mean, something like going to NorCal or going to a good like local somewhere and getting top 8 or beating someone at like a smaller regional.
Eddie Mexico won at SSS where he'd be like West, like Johnny, Joey, like
right.
Like everybody.
I think I meant like the post Brawl like 09 to 2009.
Oh, like that.
Like before Javi came to Apex. Was there anyone?
Amsa, when he came to Pound, and he beat Armada.
Yeah, he got third there. Mm-hmm.
Aside from like Armada, Amsa, Javi, I can't think of. I mean, I'm sure there have been some. I remember Zero was coming up before like Smash 4 came out.
Yeah.
But
that's where all the Brawl players picked up Melee.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, other than that, that's the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. I could be wrong, but those are the like Amsa, Armada, Javi are like the first 3 that come to mind.
Dude, I just want Dark to come to the US and just beat everyone and
right. It's super technical. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Shout out to Perfect Dark.
Yeah, man, all the Chilean players.
Get the Enrique Nubs crew.
There's so many players that are like sick that I'm sure none of us know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are probably people who like don't play anymore, and there are probably people who are like so good that they could have made a top 32 at chess or whatever. They just weren't
for sure
ever traveling.
Right.
There's all these lost players probably.
Yeah, it's so many great players like that. But yeah, those I guess just those three. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. And I guess Kage and Ron.
Yeah, he's Canadian, I guess. Yeah.
So yeah.
Do we want to talk about La Luna getting 9th at this tournament or no?
No, it is home. His
It is
home tournament.
home region.
Dude, he didn't get the Mexico booth.
Are you guys okay? So there's like two sides of like how people view Moon, and there's the type that like he always does bad, he's washed, and then there's the type like how I feel about Moon is just like you just never know what you're gonna like.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
Mark
Moon-
Westballs.
Moon-
that's really true.
He'll
The way
get
people talk about
65th
Wes
or
is
just
actually-
get second or first. Like just Ryan just does his thing on his own time. I don't know. He always like I just never doubt his capabilities. But I know some people because if he'll do bad like more than once or twice, they'll be like, "Oh, he's washed." Whatever, you know.
So Brandon, I'm assuming you've played him like a lot in friendlies and stuff before. You ever feel that he's like the kind of player that does like he's more like you ever hear the term like styles make for fights and stuff like that? Like every time I think he's like good in a matchup, like he'll lose it randomly to someone that's kind of playing in a weird way. And then when I think he's like bad in a matchup, like against Peach, like he'll beat Peach players that are supposedly good in the matchup and stuff. Like I can't tell what his thing is. Like, is it just a style thing or?
Yeah. I mean, he's like super aggressive too, and like mix up heavy from playing him. So like especially when your mix ups ain't working, like it's like melee is just super hard. So I think he has a harder time more so against like players kind of below his skill than he does against the top. He kind of plays.
No, I
like
definitely think the same.
There's players that play to their skill. Like so, if basically what I'm saying is if Moon plays someone who's like Fringe top 100, he'll play like he's Fringe top 100. Whereas like if he plays Leffen, he'll play just as good as Leffen. Like he plays to his opponent.
They've had really close sets like over their last 4 sets. Before their Evo one, he came like 3 times in a row really close to beating Leffen.
Yeah, no, Moon's he's just a wild card, man. But I mean his highs are so high. Like he has low lows, but he has crazy highs. So
he's just players. Like if I heard a result, there's almost 0 chance that I'd be surprised about it. Like you can tell me, dude, he 3-0'd Mango. I'd be like, that sounds about right. Yeah. He lost round 1 at Evo.
Yeah, but Moon's always, I don't know. He just plays so mix up heavy, and he plays to his opponent so much that like it's just hard. It's just why you see him lose a matchup that he's dominant in because I don't think he plays matchups. He kind of plays people, and sometimes if he's confused by like. At least this is my opinion, Ryan, if you're watching this. Like I just feel like if he's thrown off by like what his opponent's doing, it's harder to grasp. And I think the reason why like better players he has an easier time with because it's a bit easier time to understand like their game plans have been exposed more thought out. But when you play like against like a random, like you said, like a random Peach or a random Fox or something like that, like it's more like, wait, what? I've never seen this before. And I think he gets thrown off on top of playing to that person's skill. So then they get the upper hand sometimes. But I could be wrong. I don't know. He'd probably just say, "Yo, I didn't get no sleep that day." Like, who knows? I don't fucking know.
That definitely sounds like a Moon thing to say.
Like he just has a hard time. Like I don't know. When you play the people's skill, like I've been there, just like against bad people. You just or who you perceive to be bad, whatever. He'll just like have a hard time, maybe lose, but then against someone who you should get destroyed by, you pull it out. I don't know. You get the victory. So maybe it's who knows. I wish I had a real answer, but I just think the mix-up thing and playing to his skills, where it was like playing to his opponent's skills, is what makes it so hard. And it's Marth too. Like Marth dies faster than people think. You know, you back air him off stage and he does that jank up B, you grab the ledge, he's dead. So.
The thing is, if he beat Eddie, I actually thought this is, until playing Armada at least, that this was kind of a favorable bracket for him. If he played Eddie, he'd play DJ, who, you know, he has a history of playing back and forth, so I would trust Moon in there. He'd play Nun, who Nun used to beat beat him, but Moon's kind of turned the corner on him. I think he beat him their last 2 times in pretty convincing fashion, and then he would have had Armada in winners finals, which is like obviously tough, and like that he would have been a heavy underdog in that. But like if there was any tournament that I thought he might do well, honestly this one kind of felt like it.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. And then like him and DJ, I think that would be harder than people. It's just because DJ knows all this shit.
They both play against each other all the time.
But I mean,
DJ had a good tournament, by the way. Also, he got 5th. Good run for him.
Good. Top 8. You know, I saw part of like the last match of him and Bimbo. Is when I caught the stream, and then I caught Armada and None.
Yeah,
that's when I like tapped out. I was dozing in and out of sleep. I took the fattest nap during that top 8.
You saw None pick Ganondorf and you were like, this is not.
I didn't even get that far. I got like to the first.
You saw the names on the screen and you were like, yeah, this match isn't worth watching.
I'm just like, yo, I hope None could do it. It's like when I watch matches like those where like Armada's heavily favored, I just know like, man, like say I'm gonna use myself as an example. Like if I have to play Armada, I know for me to win the set, I have to win game 1. Like it's hard for someone like Armada to lose when you don't win the first game. I don't know. Most upsets happen when someone wins game 1, but like if you can't get game 1 versus Armada, it's just like fuck. So I feel None, but yeah, I saw some of that, and then I missed Bimbo and Nintendude because they took a break, I think, before that happened, and then that's why I stopped. But I mean, it was an interesting tournament, man. I didn't like it was the results were kind of like they were all over the place. At least I thought.
It got really good reception also from the people that went, which I think is a really great sign for the Mexican Smash scene. You know, if they're able to get Armada there in a year and he speaks glowingly of the event, like, who knows? Maybe they get 2 of the top 6 at the event. Maybe they get even more people. I think
I'd love to see them, get the Mexican Smashers have more of a spotlight. Every time I see them, they're like consistently very entertaining.
Yeah,
I love the commentators. They had so much like passion. You could tell that they were kind of nervous because they're speaking to like an audience of like 4,000, 5,000 people. You know, which is a lot. But
I see there's a lot of people.
That's fun though. Like when you watch a BAM genuine. Or some or Battle Arena Melbourne or something, where they're like obviously they've never had that type of that audience.
Yeah, you get those authentic moments. And everyone's hyped. You know, it reminds me of like how like just old school Melee was back in the day for Americans. So it's cool to see like other countries get their shot. I never get to watch the Australian tournaments because like, dude, when their stuff is going, it's like 5 in the morning on the West Coast or something crazy. But like just to hear
commentators too.
Yeah, like Japanese, like Mexican, Australian. It's just cool. Obviously, Europe and Canada have like.
Next year, I really want to go to Air if they run another one.
Yeah, Air is fire. That was probably my favorite tournament last year. Honestly, it was crazy. Yeah, Air. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, in general, just having a good Melee kind of has an international presence in like Armada and Leffen, and obviously that's really big. But as far as like big tournaments being hosted places, you know, it's generally just the United States and like in the past, I guess Sweden, but like Latin America having one having Smash Factor. Obviously, I'm not saying like the Mexican scene is the same as like the rest of Central America or even the Southern American scene. I'm just saying like I think that's a really good sign and a good step, like a good mark of progress at least for our international.
Sure. I think too if they have more events, the odds of them having top players increase. Yeah. And when you have top players, people like if there's a guy that lives in Australia and a guy lives in Mexico that could be all the top 6, like people would go to that event, you know, because it's like, oh, we need to see our.
That's so tough, dude. That's so tough, dude.
Yeah.
That is. I mean, that's a needle in a haystack for sure. But having more events out there create those odds.
It's like a symbiotic relationship where you get more good players coming out, then you'll get more good players coming for that region, then more people will want to go to that. It kind of just builds on top of each other from there.
Yeah, it's a snowball. It's like, or just like gotta get the snowball rolling, and then it just gets bigger and bigger. I think when you think of most regions that are like powerhouse regions, you look at like they always have like a lot of events too, right? SoCal, here, Florida, right? Like these places always have some event going on, and I think that kind of intertwines why there's a lot of good players, right? You know, and then you just need the culture to like cultivate that kind of environment. You got to have people that want to get good and TOs that want to host events there. So yeah.
I mean, look at how Smash and Splash grew in Wisconsin. That was a small, or not small, but that was like a modest-sized regional for national standards, and now it looks like a premier event. That's in Wisconsin, like rural, way out there.
Yeah, Delton Wells. I don't know, but
I gotta go to that next year also.
Yeah, Wisconsin Dells. Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's funny because like when I tell people who don't know about the scene about these big tournaments, they assume like it's all New York, LA. They assume the big cities because like if you're gonna have a sports event, which is what people compare esports to, what would you assume? But like it's middle of nowhere, Dearborn, Michigan, stuff like that. Obviously they're bigger, you got Detroit, Oakland, you got bigger cities, but for the most part,
I mean a lot of places you can't, like everyone can't go to New York or LA or California, West Coast, East Coast in general. Like there's a lot of melee players in the Midwest. There's a lot of melee players in the South. Texas has like a shit ton of events. It's just like I think when more people try to put on for their region, you realize how big melee is, and then two, like it's always something nearby. Because like, how many times have you guys seen a tournament or watched a trailer or matches or whatever, and you're like, damn, dude, I wish I could go to that event, but it's fucking so far. I don't have the money, whatever. But you watch that event from really far, right? You're like, damn. And then another event pops up, and you're like, oh, damn, that's like a 2-hour drive. Oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna go. Like that gets people excited knowing that like you can live. The fact that someone can live in Wisconsin and know like, oh yeah, I have a national to go to. Like that's a huge plus. Sick,
To be fair, the first two Smash and Splash, as Face Roll mentions in the chat, were held in Illinois. But when I was speaking about Wisconsin, I'm talking about like what it grew into as a national series.
Okay, what's up, Face Roll? I'm part of the Face Roll fan club. He's sick.
Yeah, I wasn't until I always knew he was good, but there's something special about him that watching his play recently.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, he just seemed to be playing differently, and I think it's really going to work out for him.
What do you guys
want to knows my thoughts? I wrote a whole column on it. So
let's go. What are you about to say?
I was just gonna say if you guys wanted to bounce over the short hops, because I know pretty much nothing about what happened at the tournament, and I would love to get like a quick recap.
Yeah, I'm down. I just know about like the top 3, and that's because you guys told me earlier.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna talk about the big upset that happened at this tournament. Bobby Big Balls BBB defeating Hacks early. I don't know where Hacks has been, but apparently Bobby Big Balls has been putting a lot of work into improving. I know he like drives really far for tournaments now. Like he won a North Carolina regional over Sharks, which is definitely pretty impressive. Yeah, that's really good. Like winning a tournament over Sharks is really, really good. And obviously beating Hacks and getting like 5th or something. Let me just double check. I think he got 5th.
He got 5th. Yeah, lost to Lod and Hugs.
Yeah, he went to SoCal for a little bit, and his results at the beginning were a little shaky, but at the end he was doing pretty well there. I forget if he just took a set off Row or if he ended up winning a tournament over Row, but yeah, like for someone of his results, they ended up being pretty good.
Where do you think he is right now? I know that's like hard to judge, especially with a player like him. Is he like fringe top 100, or is he near the edge? Or
it's way too early to say. I think because he's someone whose trajectory is moving in a direction.
Yeah. So I see him in the level where we still have 2 of the big 3 majors coming up, if Evo and Big House are still going to be two of the big three for us. But we got, SmashCon and we've got Shine, where like there's going to be so many players who go off on a run where it overshadows what they do early in the year. So I think he's someone who can go off on a run. But like as of right now, just it's tough to say. I don't think, if we had like a top 100 for the past 6 months, I don't think he would be on there. But I don't think it's crazy that he will end up top 100 if he really goes off.
All right, so you're saying he like has that potential, but he really hasn't fully shown that yet.
Yeah, I see the he obviously he has potential, but I wouldn't like say that he's super there.
Yeah, okay.
So he's definitely in top 100 salt notes after a set. I don't know if you guys want to talk about what he the letter he wrote to Hugs and sent him after losing to him for 5th place.
Let's see if I can find that.
Bobby's my guy too. I like the way he plays Falco.
Yeah, you're the Falco guru. Tell us, what do you see in BBB's play?
I met Bobby Big Balls when he lived in Texas way back, and he was just he was kind of the same then. He just like, it just seems like now he's just like going harder. It looked like he would just like go to the tournament, money match people on dip, but now he's just like grinding it out. So I mean, I can't say where he is just because I don't know who I'm comparing him to, but I mean, to me he's like top. Like I said, I think like 300 people are like top 100 material. So I definitely put him in that echelon. His Falco's dope. I just like how he just plays like he does not give a fuck. Yeah, so I respect that. Which it's hard because I know he's got to play like Puffs, Peaches, all those flows. Like that's hard for a Falco with his type of style. If he can find a way to get around those floaties, though, I mean, his bracket, like he'll probably.
I mean, he just beat Army twice last week.
So. Yeah, that's wild. I mean,
or sorry, not Army,
Sharks,
not our Sharks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still wild.
That would have been.
Sharks is crazy, man. Like both of them, like it's cool that Bobby's like really trying to like make it work though.
Yeah, for sure.
Putting in that work. I respect it. And
another good upset.
Falcons, so, Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Another
That's
upset.
okay.
What?
As the reason I mentioned Bobby over Hacks because it was also kind of a half joke that sort of failed because I was gonna segue into Polish beating Hugs, but an MDVA player beating Hugs is not too crazy if you look at his history of performing against people in that region or how he performs there typically.
Yeah, Hugo, he's I feel like no matter who Hugo loses to, people are just gonna like. Hugo,
no, I mean Polish is really good and like obviously.
No, Polish is good, but I'm saying like with Hugo, like people love memeing Hugo.
Yeah.
On the internet, so like he could, I swear he could lose to Armada, and we'll find a way to make a joke.
I mean, shout outs to him for going to an event where the top two or like the other best two players were Peach and a Sheik. Like not every Samus would do that, but props to him.
Yeah,
and it ended up being super entertaining. Both of his sets versus Polish were pretty entertaining, and Loud kind of but
he did take a game from Loud.
He took a game, and it was fun to watch. So props to him.
Hugo's sick, man. I respect the going out there solo too. Just and dealing with people cheering for him or against him every game. I'm pretty sure crowds anytime someone did anything. So
I want to see Hugs versus ChuDat now.
Oh man.
Oh wow. Again.
Jeez.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I mean, I want to see the result. I don't know if I actually want to like sit there and watch like 5 games. I'm keeping 100, but
it's more than 3 to 5 games. This is like 10 minutes. The same as
ice. No, I'm like 3 to 5 games, but I'm down to see the result. I think Hugo got a lot better this year personally, but I mean, I don't know. I don't have like. I know you guys got the rundown of like the year and the spread. I don't just off of just like what I've seen. I'm like, damn, Hugo's looking good. Yeah. Of course, there's gonna be upsets. I think if you compete a lot, you're gonna lose to people that are ranked under than you. That's just natural in anything. But for the most part, I don't know. Hugo's fire. But
Brandon, have you?
Go ahead. No. What are you about to say? As I was
you were saying shout outs to someone.
Oh, I was just saying shout outs to Hugo for going out there and MDVA for like defending the turf too, man. You know, so kudos to both parties.
What do you guys think of Junebug winning this tournament? I think he's like, I talked about him a little bit earlier this week, but I want to hear your thoughts, all of your thoughts on him as like a general player, how he's trending, what you notice in his play, that kind of thing. Brandon, I don't know if you've played Junebug yet, but I assume you've like
one or two friendlies. We played a team set. We lost. Me and Wobbles lost to him and Aglet. But it was cool. He was a solid player. He just got a lot of mix-ups. He's like safe as fuck though. Like if he starts losing, he'll make sure he doesn't like engage or put himself in like a bad spot. But like he always makes, at least in my mind, I always thought he made like smart decisions. I think you kind of have to when you play Sheik. Like it's like not necessarily the moves you pick with Sheik have to be good, but like you like the actual decision making. Like I just think a lot of Sheik players learn as they progress, and like I think Junebug's in this category. Like obviously face roll, they like as the better Sheik gets, the better decisions you see they make. Like because where I think like Falco players, I think a Falco player could be good but still not make the best decisions. You know what I mean? Whereas like I think a Sheik, because you kind of get blown up if you do a wrong move on crouch, like you're gonna get washed, right? So like they good Sheiks know that, and Junebug's one of those Sheiks to me where when he does hit you, he makes sure it's like the right move to hit you, to where he's safe at doing that hit, and he can like get away. If I know I'm ranting, but that's pretty much how I like about his gameplay. That's what I think. Him as a person, he's a cool dude. He's funny. He's a funny guy. He's just cracking jokes at Smash and Splash, having a good time. But yeah, Sheik is Manny Sheik looks. It's like easy to me. It looks easy and hard as fuck at the same time. It's like when you play against a good Fox, that shit just looks really hard. Sheik. Do any of you guys? No. Wait, say you main is Spacey, right?
Yeah, I play Falco.
I know the struggle.
Yeah.
Who do you man?
Beach man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's some. Nah, that's cool. That's some cool. We got some variety in here. Falco, Mars, Peach. But yeah, Sheik is. I just feel like Sheik players got to make they got to be real what's the word? Strategic. Just they got to really know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This is tilting Ambi so hard when he listens to this.
Oh, does he think Sheiks are brain dead?
Yeah,
he's a Fox player, so.
Yeah, I mean, every character's kind of brain dead. So I don't feel like Sheiks have it hard, but I still do think you got to be on point with Sheik.
Yeah.
Like, I think they do have a lot of free-ass matchups. Like, every floaty for Sheik is just like.
Yeah. It's like if you call them brain dead, it's just like, why doesn't everyone just pick up Sheik and become a top 50 player? It's like it can't be that brain dead if it's just that easy.
No, yeah. I don't think any character is that brain dead, but that's just I don't know. I'm the last person that should be talking about characters and tiers and shit. Personally,
character select screen is part of the game. I've heard you say that before.
Yeah, that is true, man. We all have the same character select screen. But unfortunately, you can't choose who your opponent play. Like you can't choose who your opponent's gonna play. So.
Yeah.
I think do you have anything you want to say about this?
I just want to say like Junebug. So this is not particularly surprising, but it's definitely like the upper range of his play. So he's taken sets off Lod before. It's probably like a 60-30 split or 70-30.
They're 11-24. He's 11-24 against Lod this year, according to the MDVA stuff.
Okay, yeah, and they also do like Yoshi Falcon sets and like Yoshi Pikachu and all these weird stuff. So like just looking at straight numbers might not actually say it, but they have like so many sets where, or you'll like look at a tournament and it'll be like, Lod wins 2 sets and Junebug reset grand finals or whatever, or, you can look at it'll be the other way around. So it's like not super shocking, but to see him come out on top is definitely good, and going forward, it's something to look out for. Oddly enough, Junebug has like not actually entered Melee singles at a large major this year. I believe the biggest tournament that he's played singles in is Pound Underground.
Really?
So like that's something to look out for. I want to see him at like a bona fide major, because I know if he goes to Evo or like a SmashCon or anything like that, he can definitely pop off.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be at SmashCon because it's in his region, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, the dude was the best player in Project M, and
oh my god,
I know that it's not a 1-to-1, but the way that I look at it is it takes a certain type of person to be the best player at anything.
Yeah.
So I think it like he has that drive, and he's already proven that. He just has to apply that to another game.
Every time I've seen Junebug play, he seems to be really good at all like the hard stuff about Melee. Like when I see him mess up or something, it's usually like very basic or things that are theoretically basic, like reaction tech chasing or like properly punishing someone in like a very like following up basic combo trees. But he's good at like all the hard stuff. This is gonna sound weird, but he's kind of reminds me of Shroomed like that. Like probably a lot worse, but like still in like the really strong fundamentals, like good stage control, like strong use of needles, not known for reaction tech chasing or being like the super punish game heavy type player. Brandon, you actually play Shrooms, so you can talk about like
like Junebug versus like Dawn? I haven't played
No, just
Dawn.
in terms of styles. I like obviously
yeah, like well, I think the difference between the two of them is like I still think Junebug, like when in doubt, like he'll have no problem retreating. Whereas like when Dawn's in doubt, he'll just attack more. So like that's the difference between them two. Junebug will like wait it out if he has to. He has no problem with that. Whereas like I don't think that's just not an idea in Shroom's head. Like that's the biggest difference between them two. But I mean, as far as doing like the hard stuff, I can't say that enough about Junebug because like although I've watched this play a lot, I still haven't I've watched it, but I haven't like picked it apart. You know what I mean? I just always thought like what was I trying to say? Junebug always makes right decisions. Was like with Dewan, it's more like he'll just like pick you. He's kind of like Moon in the sense of like he could just pick you as a player apart more than like what beats what, if that makes sense. You know? That's just the vibe.
He's more playing the player than playing the game itself.
For sure, yeah. And I think Junebug is about like, and mind you, like I said, if Junebug was watching this, I don't know. I always thought Junebug kind of, the way I felt he played, it was like he knows which situations work and which situations don't work, and he uses it to his advantage, right? Yeah. That's the initial vibe I got.
But you see what I mean by like the not known for reaction.
Like yeah, both of them don't. I mean, most Sheiks don't for real, except like Face Roll and Spark. I'm like that's really it. I feel like even like Club doesn't like. He don't need to really. He'll just like read your soul and then like, but he like like I don't know, like Face Roll and Spark are the only ones I see like just like tech chasing someone to like 80 to a down smash and kill him. It's hard as hell. I think it's way harder than it looks. It got to be harder if like no Sheiks really do it. I think most Sheiks go for like 2-3 tech chases and the up smash pop up, and then like do some crazy aerial combo. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shouts to the Sheik players though. And shouts to everyone who hates Sheik. There's a lot of people who hate Sheik.
Edwin, did you have anything else at Short Hops you wanted to talk about? Any other upsets? Any other surprising player performances?
Not really that comes to mind. Where do we even get started when it comes to MPGR? Do we talk about 41 to 50? Do you guys want to talk about do you want to talk about the ranking process as a whole? What it's been like working on it? obviously 3 of us here had ballots, but I know you've been behind the scenes a little more intensely than we have.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to actually see myself listed on there as the lead fact checker. Yeah, it's been good. I worked some stuff before on past SSBM ranks, but not to the extent of this. Not gonna say that everything's been super smooth, because any big transition like that, where you're going from it used to be MOM, now it's PG stats. Any big transition like that, you're probably going to get something. But for the most part, everyone involved's been pretty good about just trying to foster a sense of I guess not creativity, but like this open space where no one's opinions are wrong. So it's definitely been pretty good. They've all been pretty accommodating, I guess. I don't know what you want me to say.
No, your answer did fine. Waff, Waff or Save, you guys saw 41-50. Anything stand out to you? Any shocking placements? Anyone you think got snubbed?
I mean, it felt very like vanilla to me, like kind of exactly what I expect. I think Europe was probably a little underrated, but I mean, that's kind of what you expect to see for summer rankings. Because like when I was my mindset for ranking Europe, and I know other people probably have it differently, is that I take their rank from the last ranking period, look at the results recently, and be like, how does those results reflect the player? Like, have they changed from much? And you can only do it by so much because they have so many less results. So maybe it's because of the weird way I look at European players, but I think in general they always get underrated on summer rankings because there's not much data.
I think I ended up abstaining on Professor Pro because he beat like S2J earlier this year and like had a few good wins, but like he didn't go to enough like significant things where I felt comfortable ranking him.
That's fair. I think I had him decently high, like mid 30s or late 40s. I had him 44, so yeah, it's kind of where I expect it. But
yeah, I don't know what to do with like the international players that go to like maybe a few U.S. tournaments.
I think that's just kind of a problem that exists with the ballot system because how they're so disconnected from major tournaments. And I guess it's everyone's kind of, they have to come up with their own way of dealing with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a problem that exists with any ranking system.
Yeah.
It's like ballots don't really fail in that way any differently than an algorithm would.
Not to throw any shade.
I mean, if you got people who only play each other, and like Professor Pro has not come to America so far this year. Over Triforce, same exact thing, has not come to America. AMSA, I think, went to Gommel and Smash and Splash. I forget if he went to both of them. But for the most part, like that was it. So you get these people who are very good, but that's an issue just in general, is how do you value that?
Yeah, because there's so much more assumption needed to be involved for those players.
I think, what was it, Prof at 48 or no 47, I think.
48, yeah.
48 and Triforce at 50. That's fine because obviously it shows that we know that they're good, and judging by the few data points we have, we know that they're that they could be very good if they went to some more stuff. And I think that also applies to someone like Santiago at 47.
Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't see the list. I know Toussaint and Slox are like next to each other because New York posted something.
I think it's Keizu 41, Toussaint 42, Slox 43, Gatsu 44. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Can someone just pull up? Is it Michael or is it Moki?
No,
is it Michael or Moki?
Who do you think it is, Weed? I have it up, and you've been right so far. Do you think it's Michael?
I don't want to. I'm gonna go Michael 45, Moki
right.
46, Santiago 47, Professor Pro 48, Meds 49, over Triforce 50.
And 50 is
you nailed it. That's off the top of your head.
Good shit. Yeah.
It's the lead fact checker. Can't question.
That's crazy. All those players are only 41 through 50. That's kind of nuts.
What's the awesome thing is that so many of those players made all these huge jumps. So I guess not Meds. Moki went from 96 to 40. I just said 46.
Yeah.
All right. Michael went from unranked to 45, 2 Saint, of course. You know, you have, and even like, the thing is that no one's talking about Keizu going from, I think it was 70 to 41.
Yeah, because he had
like,
a great like spring.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's so nuts that like jumping almost 30 spots is nothing, because you got these people who are going from unranked or like, you know, barely ranked to top 50. And I think that's good for the community to have these people, you know, go from the bottom of the list or not even on the list to being pretty high on there.
Do you think there's any particular reason we're seeing that? Like, do you know if there's any like factor you guys can think of off the top of your head that would cause this to happen when it normally doesn't? Because
I mean,
KJ's sick.
Right.
People are hungry.
Yeah.
KJH is right when he says it's kind of a fraudulent rankings period. Not a lot of people
that show up are the
stuff. But like, that's the thing. I mean, half the job is showing up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the people that are showing up are hungry and they're like practicing, grinding, going to tournaments and stuff, you know?
And
it doesn't mean that they're innately better than players who might be ranked under them. It just means
you can't expect to just like do good and because you did good that you'll stay good.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So it holds you accountable to either get better or just like you know, decline, right? It's hard. It's hard.
Like Zoo, like I'm gonna use Zoo as an example. Like Zoo is a very talented player, like someone who's really good a long time ago and probably is still really good now. But like when he goes to Genesis or a national or something, like winners round 3 could be like Foe the Bro or something, you know? Like it could be a top regional player of another region. Like he can't sleep on that. Even like round 1, there was of some tournament, I forget which one it was, but Plup played a Marth who I recognize from net play called Joshua Washua or something. And this random guy, like I only recognize him from net play for being like gold or something. He took Plup to last stock in the last game and had this sick, like he got 2 or 3 stock first game, but he had this sick combo on him. And it was like, it just takes one opening, dude. Like anyone.
No one's safe, dude. Trust me, I know. No one's safe. I don't lost everybody in their mom, man. It's hard to just keep up, man. Especially with these guys. Like, especially when you like have these people who like just like you said are hungry. They haven't been to this point in their like melee lives yet, so they're coming for blood, man.
Or even just real life, like they got time to practice.
Yeah, they got time, and they just care more. I think when you care more, you make time, even though you don't. There's a lot of people who work and play melee, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They make that time. So I think when the one people who are on the come up just care more because they want to improve, and rightfully so. It's good to see those people get rewarded, right? They deserve it, right? It shows that you can't just like think like your ego. Like the rankings will check your ego, you know, if you're not on your shit, pretty much, which is kind of cool.
Now, on the Melee Stats podcast Discord server, I actually talked about this a little bit ago about how, despite the fact that I really like some of these players, I'm like really happy that they're losing. And the person who I mentioned was, as weird as it sounds, like the person who I mentioned was Shroom, because like I think he's so good, and I love when he does well. But here's the thing, is that like when you play LOD and when you play IBDW, if you lose to them, you know, as someone as good as he is, and that shows that they're hungry, that shows that they're on the come up, they've been trying, they're grinding. And there's not going to be a time where you have, or when I look at it, you have someone who's very talented. If they lose to someone who's putting in the effort, I'm not really going to be mad about it.
Right.
It's not good for a competitive scene for the top people to be like, you know, complacent about the game and just not really trying. So when we have these things where you can mix it up, where you see people who are really grinding out there, and you know, people like, you know, Shroomed or West Balls or Hugs before back in 2016?
2016 was when he kind of had the rough year.
Yeah, I mean, you see these people who are kind of resting on the laurels, and then all of a sudden, you know, these people are starting to beat them. And you need to adapt to survive. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it shows too that either two things happen. As someone who is like numbers wise has fallen off plenty of times, this is what happens. Two things happen to these type of players who are raw and then they start getting their shit pushed in. Either they get sunk, and they find a way to dig deep, adjust, and maybe either keep up or even do better or supersede that, right? Or you just kind of get too complacent to where you don't do anything about it, and then it gets or you get sunk to where you're just like, man, fuck this, right? And then you just lose more and more and more until the point where you just either that's when that guy, where's this person been at, or you end up TOing or commentating or something. Like we all like if you let that part of like, what am I trying to say? If you like that moment is so critical when like you said, someone's starting to like you said Dewan like having a loser streak or something like that. Like this part is so critical because he could either grind that shit out and just easily become like super amazing, or just kind of just say fuck it, and then it just tailors off somewhere else. Which and to those players' defense, right? Like when you've been that good for so long too, I'm playing devil's advocate right now, right? Because like I'm with you in the sense of like, it's good to see like good players on the come up knocking that complacency down. But at the same time, to play devil's advocate, these dudes been good for years, right?
Yeah.
They've been putting work in for years. At some point, it's just like, well, bro, like, what else do I gotta prove at this point? I'm thinking from Shroom. If I'm Shroom, I've been in top 8s. I didn't beat all of these players. You did, like, at this point, it's just like, man, maybe I want to chill out. Maybe I'm just not as committed, right? And maybe that could be showing. But my point being is like, it's sometimes it's not always just like their egos as far as why like someone is like either declining or it looks like they're complacent, right? It could just be something like maybe personal or just like tired of the game in the sense of like, the competing is draining, the just traveling, everybody like expecting you to do well and fucking people going crazy every time you lose a stock, like after a while that shit, like, that's something that the uppercomers don't have to deal with, which I do give like the top players credit for, to be able to handle that shit like literally every weekend.
Well, that's also another exciting part. Like the absent pages of the world, they're darlings now, but in a year when there's someone else coming up and everybody's suddenly rooting against absent page to lose to a random dude, like it's
then it's not fun anymore. It's just like, it's fun when you're the guy on the come up. Everyone's talking about how good you are, how good you can become. But when you're that guy that's expected to be top 20, shit gets a lot different. Because then it's like if you don't do nothing astronomical, no one's gonna really give a fuck. But then if you do worse than top 20 or whatever, people are gonna start talking about how you're falling off and stuff. And I know like not all those players care about like what we think, but it's probably still in the back of their heads like, damn. What else? So it's hard to look at both sides. Like I understand both sides for sure, and I'll definitely think about like what you're saying about players on the come up. Like it is good to see them like be rewarded for their hard work, which I'm also about. But I do understand like the other aspects too, like of the top player. It's problems on both sides, right? So
yeah.
I mean, Brandon, you've talked about like being on the upset end more, like as losing to players that you see yourself as better than. But you've been on the opposite end too. Like in late 2015, you defeated Plup at HTC Throwdown. I want to say,
yeah,
like you've made your fair share of upsets as well. So you know what it's like to both be the guy in the crowd to slay the giant sort of, and you know what it's like to be rooted against or be the
I know what it's like to have a whole region want you to lose and be happy. But I've also been the guy that's made the top player pissed off too. So
yeah,
I mean, it just comes with the territory though, man. There's just some things like all these guys on the come up now, like after a while they're not gonna be on the come up. So I think they got to get used to that next chapter. It's like that. You're like, dope, you're a good player. We all know this at this point. But now when you're playing that next dude who's trying to get top 100, let's see. It's just a whole different chapter. But it's interesting to see though. That's the cool thing about Melee, the generations that come with it. It's just a hard ass game on both sides. I understand everyone's struggle, so I try to. I don't say I understand, but I try to. So it's rough. I like to say it's rough because it is. Yeah. It's rough. It's rough, dude. Yeah. You're on the come up. You can't get that just due. You do bad one time. You're a top player. Everyone thinks you're falling off. It's hard, man.
This is gonna sound.
The game is still so dope that none of that shit matters. So.
This is gonna sound really silly, but like, this is gonna sound really silly, but like, the reason why I empathize with you on this is because like, I've never been a top 100 level player. The most I've been is like a slightly above, like a above average player at my college. Like, so.
Hey, but even that comes with this like struggles, right?
Yeah, I used to like really not hate, but I used to really want to beat the people above me. They were like 12. We had like a small group of 15 players. I was the worst of them. And like, I really wanted to beat them. My friends would like root for me and stuff. And then when our club grew into like 50 or 60 people or something, I was suddenly like the third ranked player in our school. And like, I was kind of like the gatekeeper, like, S2B, right? Keith?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Keith, yeah. My bad. I forgot his tag. Yeah.
Yeah, so S2B and I were like really good friends in college. So it was Doom, his other friend, who was a really good Connecticut Peach, Doom, S2B, me, and then like a few other people that were really good. But like for a long time, out of the people that went to locals, I was like the gatekeeper guy that everybody wanted to beat. Because I would typically lose to Keith, but I would beat everyone else in my school. So everybody always wanted to see me lose. And like, even in a small like pond like that, like it'd get really stressful, man, between like wanting to prove yourself versus being the guy everyone wants to see lose to the up and coming players.
It's harder to deal with,
Like, I can't imagine that on a national level. Like, it was stressful enough for me to deal with in a small pond,
Yeah, but that just comes with it, and eventually you get better at it. I remember I've had times where, and I'm still going through this, like in the NorCal PR, I've just been getting lower and lower and lower. But like I've gotten to points where like, like that doesn't mean that like I'm not good, right? I've definitely been points where I've dropped and shot up, then dropped and shot up. It just comes with the territory. You just gotta know, like, I don't know, regardless of where you're ranked, like high or low, whatever. Just know like what you're capable of, and just do your best. And really, any type of judgment that comes from that, that's not on you. You just do your thing and play. That's what I've learned, and it's a lot more easier to handle. Because I know some top players. I think the idea too, when people start doing bad, is act like they're over it. As a way to like hide that pain of like being like fuck, like But I don't know. I think if you just tell yourself that, I can do this, I've done it, or whatever, it's easier. Not to say that you won't go through hardships or you lose randomly, but,
yeah,
you handle it better. But yeah, I don't want to rant to you guys about that shit, but yeah.
Is it speed round time then, Save?
Yeah, I was just about to say. I'm ready to lose another speed round.
Oh shit, I'm ready. I'm ready to see what
this could be the time, Save. This could be the day.
I have won twice. I mean,
Save's won twice.
Yeah.
Won twice. Was this an episode where it was just you and Edwin?
No. I won against Fire and I won against Algebra, so I only win on 3-man shows.
Shouts to Damien.
Now I gotta let you guys know this has to be the quiet speed round because my mom texted me that I gotta keep it.
Maybe close the door behind you, Edwin.
It is. No, that's the other part of the room.
Also, damn. Is that a CRT with melee on in the background? Because you can like kind of see the character select screen.
Right.
You can just see the one gray square.
Yo, respect.
I'm really embarrassed.
You're moving over to block it.
Yeah, I respect the grind. When it was I've been fiending, dude. I haven't played melee since Friday, and when I did, it was at Made. And like when I host Made, I can only because like lately we were having like 60 plus people. This one wasn't that big, but it was just like it's so hard. Like I try to go for a goal of 5 friendlies, And like I'm playing what's you guys ever heard of Ja Ryden? He's also really good.
Oh,
Oh,
Ja
yeah.
Ryden's hella
He's
good.
like, yeah,
He's very
and
good.
he's in NorCal, I think, for some kind of like intern. I don't know what he's out here for, but anyway, I was trying to get my fix in, dude. I try to play like 5 friendlies. Next thing you know, we're like locked in for like half an hour, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta start like shutting everything down. Like it's man, no matter what you're doing, you're always gonna want to play. It's pretty much what I'm getting at.
I mean, I'm going to 3 majors next month, so I may as well like
Dude,
practice.
yeah, grind up, bro. I want to grind so bad. I might play later on tonight. I don't know. But let's get
Right
to
now,
this.
Yeah, Edwin, give us a recap on what these rules are for the speed round.
Yeah, let's get
So
to this
Melee
speed round.
Stat speed round. I ask a question. The panel has a minute to given each of them to give their answer. It's anarchy. Everyone's out for themselves. Person with the most amount of points at the end of the segment gets a minute to talk about whatever they want.
You can be quiet and still
wow.
sound excited, Edwin.
Yeah,
You don't
this
have
is
to-
like
yeah, you can be quiet and excited at the same time, Edwin.
like
don't
you have
have
a gun
to-
to your head.
Okay, you guys ready?
Go for it.
Why don't you put your mic closer to you so then
just
you
right
don't have
up.
to-
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Jesus, this is
All right,
scary.
guys. What is the greatest Smash rap of all time?
Oh, the Nun one for Summit.
Chilling.
It wasn't done by Nun, but
For me, it's the Chilla Hugo diss, but I like that one more than the Leffen one personally.
I only recently found the Hungry Box You the Best rap, and I'm gonna go with that because it just you think you've heard the worst line, and then it keeps on getting further. You're like, no, that's worse, and it keeps on going. You're like, oh, Smash.
Or my guy Coco, he's from NorCal, and he made the I used to love Mango. Yeah, that shit's fire too. Yeah, but I don't know. I know I just gave 2 answers for it.
So Brandon, you're saying the Chillin' Hugo diss track. Save is saying the Hungry Box the best.
Sadly.
And Wheat said the Nun one. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give the point to Save for this one.
Let's go.
Brandon, I'm a little
on.
disappointed you didn't say pound 5 in it. I thought that was one of the best.
I haven't heard that one.
That one's like on your channel.
Is it?
I think
Dude,
so.
I'm lacking.
I think
I haven't heard, dude. It's been
All right,
a long time.
Okay, next question. Which Falco is better right now? Lint from Connecticut or Azel from NorCal?
Well, I'm a bias, so even though Lynch's my guy, I gotta say Aslan just out of love.
Ooh.
But I don't know how Lynch's been doing, so I can't say. I'm literally just picked. This is a straight bias pick. So
I'll go Lint. I know that Edwin's CT, so I'm just trying to do the test right now. I'm not. It might not be the right answer, but it's the right answer for the test.
Yeah, honestly, I was just gonna go with Lint because I've heard Edwin drown on about him more than Lazel.
Oh, well, Lint's already been taken as an answer, so.
Yeah, no, well, there's only 2 choices, so.
All right, well.
I don't.
Azel's like one Arcadian kind of free. I've seen him just shit on Spark, Nick, Whittier, fucking. Just name a good player in NorCal. He beat Azusa. He's been.
Yeah.
All right, Wheat gets the point here because he actively knew what I was looking for in the answer. All right,
because
guys.
People who are just good test takers.
All right, guys. Falco or Jigglypuff? Who is a better character?
Oh God.
I'll go Jigglypuff. I don't know if I really think it, but if I like these days, I don't know. If I see like a Puff, like a top 50, top 100 Puff, I have more faith in them than top 50, 100 Falco, unfortunately.
But is that more the character or the people who get drawn to like playing a character? Like the more wild people want to play Falco?
I'm not looking about the sociological aspects behind
Dave,
Puff.
are you calling
I just
yourself
gave
a
my
wild
answer.
man? Are you calling yourself wild?
You've
Dave?
heard some of the things I've done.
Okay, I think I have a weird answer. So
Brandon
I think
gets the last word.
Okay, so Sam hasn't answered yet. If I get last word,
No, go ahead, Brandon.
I'm
I'm not getting the point this round, so.
So I think Falco at base, like, is just easier to use. But I feel like as you get better, Puff gets better. But that's probably biased.
Yeah.
that's a lot of bias because I like hate that matchup. So
I like the genuine answer if Brandon gets the point here.
Oh, let's go.
Right.
I think Falco is easier to learn in my opinion because I think Puff is harder. I know technically she's easier, but like tech wise. But like,
right. What is the greatest Smash beef of all time?
Wasn't this already a question? Or
No, Smash beef.
you haven't done this before?
No.
Oh man.
Oh man, ever?
Yeah, it can be between players, regions, continents.
Podcast.
Analog cast and this one right here.
Damn.
No, analog cast and esportsmanlike conduct.
The best beef.
Interpret that however way you want.
Damn.
Yeah, what is beef?
Like,
Sound like Biggie's flaws. What is beef? What is beef as far as Smash goes?
I didn't.
I'm sticking.
Yeah, you stumped us all, Edwin.
No, I just feel like I'm gonna say a basic ass one, and I don't want to say it. Mango Hungry Box was fucking. That shit was heated, bro.
Really? Okay. I didn't.
They fucking hated each other, bro.
All right.
I mean, I know Leffen Hungry Box do, but Mango Hungry Box.
I'll go.
Actually, nobody that well started.
Okay, Save gets the last word.
I'll go not Mango, Leffen Hungry Box, because like if you looked at the tweets and the beef itself, you'd be like, oh, these guys probably like trade sets a lot. It's probably pretty close. And then you look at the results of Leffen losing the last 7 sets, and you're like, ooh, just ooh.
Yeah. Damn,
all right,
really
I'm gonna give the point to Wheat here for
saying nothing.
For coming up with the most unlikely beef of all time.
I'm gonna make some beef.
A wise man won't say nothing at all.
All right. What is Falco's worst matchup in Melee? Go.
Oh, fuck.
Ow. That's what it is. It's not playing another character. It's this thing right up here. It's the mine. It's seeing the other person select Peach or Puff on the character select screen, and then knowing that you have to select the character. That's my answer.
The one matchup where Falco can play amazing and still lose is Marth. But like I don't even like Marth isn't the most annoying matchup, but it's like I actually like it kind of, but it's just you can play amazing and fucking just get down tilted twice. I'm gonna go Marth.
Yeah. My heart tells me to agree with Wheat because I feel the same way, but I have to say Marth because I've gotten Marth so many times as Falco. It just feels so sad. You're
It's
like
fucking stupid.
Stick 80% combo and it's just like tipper fair and
you're just like, dude, this is dumb as fuck. There's no way. Like I have to really play perfect to win this match.
Yeah.
Like it was like Puff Peach, like if you're playing great, they can't do anything. Mm-hmm. But like when Mars can still fucking just whiff a grab out. But I do think Falco has a lot of good things against Mars. You alright, Edwin?
I've had a bad cough.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm not going to give the point to the 2 Falco mains complaining about Marth here. So yeah. I'd like to congratulate Gimme That Wheat on yet another, I think his third.
3-0, baby.
And it's the Marth player with the talent.
No bias.
Yeah, no bias. Down tilted his way into that.
Yo, catch me grabbing fools by the ledge.
Down tilt. Jab delusion.
Yeah.
Oh, you're cool.
All right, so per the rules, Wheat gets a minute to talk about whatever he wants. However, in a rule I'm totally not just making up right now, Wheat is not allowed to play a video of his choice.
Hey, you don't have control of that, I do. So,
I've got a topic I want to talk about. And I want to talk about there's a big mistake going on in Melee right now. And it's in regards to the Fendy Scar Salty Sweet. Oh, and it's not the fact that it's happening. It's the fact that the person who lit the fire for this is not allowed to go. He's not invited. And that's Edwin Budding. Brought this up on the podcast. Was the one who started this whole thing, basically. You know, if you've ever seen The Wire, They talk about the guy who created the chicken nugget. And they're saying that
yeah.
probably
That's the most hood conversation of all ghetto-ass conversations I've ever heard. But anyway.
And that's Edwin. Edwin's the person, they're making millions off of this, and he doesn't see a penny of it. And that's what's happening right now. So I just want to bring to light this horrible event. Nah, that doesn't mean don't watch the Fendy Scar Salty Sweet. That just means when you watch it, understand that Edwin will not be
the idea.
Yeah.
Who do you guys have? Anyone in particular for that? That salty sweet.
We're Team Fendy all the way, dude.
I would also say Fendy, but don't.
Damn, you two here from Philly. That's wild. Well,
we're East Coast. We're East Coast. We gotta be Philly
too. But Scar's from Philly.
Yeah, that is true. But
but
Fendy hasn't betrayed us yet.
Fendy will sometimes talk to me about like Sixers and Eagles. So
how I feel about it is like, I don't know. Scar's highs are fucking crazy. I think
it's Marth Falcon too, so you never know.
Yeah, like Fendy's got the consistency thing going on, but if Scar gets high, bro, he might fucking go off. I know people don't, and Scar's one of those people too who likes to act like he's washed, but he's not washed. That's the Commentator classic where you talk about how washed you are.
I think it'll be more close than some people think it will be.
And it's great for Scar. So if he loses, it's like, oh yeah, he's not playing that much. But if Scar wins, that's such a W for him. He's got nothing to lose by.
Okay, let's make one thing clear though. I think even if Scar wins, like if you compare their resume, just like overall as players, like Fendy is pretty clearly like better right now.
Yeah,
you know, like I don't think that changes if he loses. It's just like because it's such a high variance matchup. You know, Marth Falcon one opening could be death. Like I don't think it's too crazy. It's not crazy to imagine Scar would win. And when I asked the question to Fendy initially, I actually thought in the back of my mind, like, you know, I think I'd take Scar in this. But the sheer audacity of Fendy to say that he would three shit on Scar.
Yeah, he brought it up.
I'll put money he won't 3-0. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if he beat him though.
There's only one situation where I think
he could do. I don't see it though. I don't see it.
I think it only happens. It only happens if Scar is up like 3 stocks to 1, like loses a stock in a really stupid way and starts getting comboed on the next stock and like gets reverse and blows a huge lead. Then I think it's done. Then I think
that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad to see Fendy like improving too.
It's for charity, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's sick. It's the Scar. I don't know. I just seen Bobby what he's capable of too many times. Like doubt him.
Yeah, no, he could win. The foundations for like a world-class player are there, or not? Maybe not world-class, but like for a strong player are there. You know, like once you've been there.
There's also this idea with new school melee players too that just old school players just don't know how to play the game anymore. Like it's not like necessarily. I don't think people think that about like the top level old school players, but like a lot of the players like Scar are just like people who are just like completely inactive. I think sometimes newer school players, especially newer school players on the come up, like forget that. And I hope Fendy doesn't forget that because if he forgets that, that's a bad look. Mm-hmm. But if he stays on his toes and he doesn't sleep.
What do you think of Fendy? What do you think of Fendy Dunk and Fendy Toph? That should be interesting.
Oh, he's gonna play all 3 of them?
Yeah, he's doing like a gauntlet kind of thing.
Damn. I mean,
he's playing Scarf and Scarfox as well.
I think he'll destroy Scarfox. Scarf he'll probably beat too. As far as Toph, if Toph's not on his shit, I can see Fendy taking that. Same with Dunk. Dunk's a wild card too, kind of, but they got to be on their shit if they want to beat Fendy. The advantage to them is Fendy's money matching like everybody. So like he might run out of steam. He might play good one set and then just shit the bed because he's just played like 3 or 4 sets straight. So I don't know. If Fendy can win all those, he's nuts. But I see him losing. Like if he does like 5 money matches, he's probably gonna lose one just because he gets tired. But can he win all of them? Yeah. Can he lose all of them? Yeah, except for Scar Fox and Scar. I think he'll take those regardless.
Yeah.
I give Fendy
Yeah,
those.
that's fair.
Yeah, but the as far as Toph and Dunk and Scar talking, like he can win them all, he can lose them all, and just we're gonna find out.
Mm.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
What do you guys think?
I have Fendy winning all of them, but it wouldn't. But again, like I think it's like one of those mid-level type beefs where like you can see it going either way, and you wouldn't be surprised. Like if Scar wins 3-1 or 3-2, it's like, oh, okay, well Scar got the openings he wanted. He was playing well. Fendy might be tired or something like that. Like my conception of the players are not going to change by the result of this money match.
Yeah.
I think my perception would change if Fendy like 3-0'd everybody. I'd be like, whoa. You know? Like that would say some shit. If he 3-0'd everybody, that would be fucking
I get.
Yeah.
But it could also I don't know. It's like it's not tournament. It's like a different kind of atmosphere.
But still though, for him to 3-0 if he didn't drop a game, that'd be fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only thing that would blow me away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see.
But Edwin, you're saying about tournament results to talk about, that can transition us into Low Tier City 6 talk.
Shit.
Is there any? We'll start off with top 32. Is there anyone you're looking out for mainly? Because it seems like everyone who's in a top 6 players path, that's just like easy W's. I think. Do you think none takes a game off of Leffen?
I mean,
is there a project? Real quick, I'm sorry. Is there a projected bracket?
Yeah, it's on Smash GG.
Yeah, because
okay, I'm looking that up right now.
Like it's Hungerbox, Absent Page, Mango,
so
Lucky, Armada, Hugs.
So this is pretty top heavy for as far as tournaments go. Like it teeters off around Peter. Is it Peters or Cheaters? I think it's Peters.
I think it's Peters.
Yeah, so it peters off after like the 16 after like the what do you call it? I think after like Absent Page and Bananas, it like kind of slips off.
Oh, okay. I got it up. I got it up now.
But there's still a lot of good talent. Like I think I'm really excited to see Absent Page Bananas. I think Bananas won 2 of their last 3 sets against each other, but those 2 are like rising players. Probably
for sure.
Absent Page is probably regarded a little higher, but Bananas is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you a sleeper pick in the first round that I think can fuck shit up if people aren't aware. Albert's
hella good.
Army and the Lucky. Like Albert could do that, bro. Army and the Lucky. He can
Texas is full of like people that are really used to playing against ice climbers. So it would not shock me if Albert just came out the gate swinging and took
Texas
Army by
has
surprise.
A lot of good people, like who I don't think do a ton of stuff. Like Albert, of course, I think is super good. I think ALP is pretty good. I think pretty highly of SFOP. And the Puff SDJ like has had some pretty good wins. I think he may be a little more inconsistent, but like still, I don't think he's going actually.
And A Rookie too. A Rookie's another one.
Oh, he's
going.
going.
Guys want to look out for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's matching against Android.
You know? Like A Rookie could like fuck shit.
Yeah, for sure. But Army and Lucky playing in Texas, that's that shit I don't like.
Yeah, well, they might not though. That's.
I mean, yeah, but like.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Like, of all, like they could swap them around somewhere.
They played like 12 sets this year or something.
Hey, so maybe I'm crazy, but I kind of think like if Cyrock's kind of like he's amazing and everything, he's really good, but like if he plays like Falco or something at this tournament, or is playing a little subpar, can't you see like Hamyojo beating him and then Hugs? Like, is that like I wouldn't bet on it happening, but I just saw Hamyojo's name in bracket. And I think that's like weirdly not impossible if that were to happen. Hamyojo lame chic from Texas, loves timing out lower tier characters.
I mean, Hamyojo won a local recently where he beat Bunk Mojo. And like it's such a weird one because I have it up right now. Bananas and Mojo both went, but they got 4th and 5th. So Hamyojo beat Bunk Mojo and Arsenals twice. So like he definitely has it in him.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, Hamyojo, who knows, man? who knows? I wouldn't be surprised, but I think it'd be pretty hard too. No lie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's favored by any stretch. But I said the same thing about Yort and Cobalt at that tournament earlier this year at CEO, and I was right about Yort having the potential.
Dude, another one too. I was just looking at Albert's thing too. Like Crunch is mad good at that matchup too. Crunch could be Albert. Like I know that's a sleeper, but you guys might not expect that. But Crunch is raw.
No, Crunch is in my region. He's pretty. He has.
Yeah.
I feel like Crunch's big thing that he's talked about before is just like choking in tournament or not playing well with nerves. But his like he knows what it is to like. He has the good like player versus player skills, and he's a good analyst of the game. I mean, you have to be, right?
Right. There's Snowy and Vish. That can go either way.
Wait, Snowy and Vish are playing?
They're projected to.
Oh, I'm looking at top 64. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Snowy, if I recall about Snowy, like I don't think he's like even top 2 or 3 in Texas Puffs, but I know he's like the Swedes, or at least Armada, regards him really highly against Fox, like as far as Jigglypuffs go. Like that's supposed to be his
believe
one.
That his like results against other characters are a little shaky compared to how he does against Fox, but it'll still be interesting.
Yeah, it should. I'm looking at this bracket's gonna be weird.
I'm looking at losers bracket. Does Vish have a possible if he gets sent to losers like as projected? You know, GP Albert. Android might be tough.
Yeah,
right? I know Vish
Albert might give him a harder time than Android, I think. Just because that matchup is just fucked.
Falcon.
I don't think Vish likes that matchup. But I mean, that'd be a run if he went through Albert, Android, Uncle Mojo.
Man, I really want to see. This is a little further ahead in bracket, but I really want to see Absent Page HBox. Not because I think like Absent Page will win that or that he'll be close to winning that. I just feel like it would be a good, like at least from an eye test perspective. I want to see what he has to bring in that matchup.
Do you think he can take a game?
Absent Page and who?
HBox.
I think he can take a game.
Yeah, I think he can take.
I would give him a game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like we're kind of burying the lead here. We're talking about like stuff that happens round 2 when there's 4 gods at this tournament.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, we haven't even talked about how it would go between them.
Yeah.
The 4 gods. Mango, Hungrybox, Armada, Leffen. Do you think one of them could possibly get upsetted?
I think any 4 of them could win this tournament. Like, I could honestly see any of them
being upset like before.
Other than them losing to each other, do you think that like someone could beat one of the guys?
Nah. Like all their paths are like so easy to get there.
Yeah.
For them, yeah.
For them, yeah.
Like could happen versus will or is likely to happen. I don't think it's likely to happen that Mango or Armada lose. Like Armada almost certainly not. Like basically guaranteed he will not lose.
Sorry. Time the hugs, but I mean that'd be
dude. It would be amazing. I would be so happy for them. But like, yeah, they have no. Like you asked them if they have a shot. Sorry, dude.
If they do, we need to put this.
I will let them host the Melee Stats podcast for another like month, and they can they can follow my dumbass journey through locals and local climb up. Edwin got fifth at Smashing Grounds weekly of 30 people, but there were only 2 PR players there.
He's washed. There's only 6 players there.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, this bracket looks fucking. This bracket is crazy. It's super top heavy.
Yeah, there's definitely.
Has Lucky ever beaten? And I don't think Lucky's ever beaten any of Mango's mains in tournament across a whole set, has he? Because he's gotten really close before.
No, not that I've seen. I've seen them play for fucking years, and he'll get close, man. Like he'll get to game 5 and then just get washed. And I'm like, all right.
Smash Rivalries, they went close, and obviously there's the big outset, but that was like 4 years ago.
Game 5, and then that was
They played at a DreamHack too. I forgot which one.
Austin 2016.
Yeah.
Mango 3-0'd him there.
You know, people forget, but none. I think it's forgotten because none kind of got destroyed at Don't Park in the Grass, but. At some tournament I think it was Smash and Splash, but
it was Smash and Splash. He took him to game 5. Took Leffen to game 5.
But he went up like
yeah.
2-0 in the set or something. Like he was destroying Leffen,
Yeah,
and then
he did.
suddenly Leffen turned on the Jets midway.
Yeah. If anyone were to lose, I'd probably say none over Leffen, but like
it feels
you
so
know, I'm
unlikely.
not betting on it.
Yeah.
I'll say that for sure.
Yeah.
I think they're good money on them all making it to semis.
So who do we think is going to make it to top 8 from losers? I think Army's got a really good shot. I think Army's bananas. Army's bananas. Honestly, even Android, like Android could beat Absent Page.
Do we know who Android is playing? Has he gone back to Sheik? Is he coming to Falco? Like, did that ever get sorted out? Okay, yeah.
Because he's got like Albert, Mojo, and Absent Page, and Absent Page obviously like an amazing, like really good player. But Android is also strangely hella good against Fox because it's like that's one of the 2 matchups that he plays all the time at home. And Android's like he scored up really big Fox wins before in the past. I remember he whooped Crush at I think Beast or something. He like 3-0'd him and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, in that quadrant, I will not be surprised if someone from Texas got top. I legit wouldn't be surprised if Uncle Mojo got top 8.
Ooh, that could
Uncle Mojo. Like I think Absent Page.
Yeah.
Absent Page probably is the favorite of all these people I'm looking at for sure. Yeah. But like, I mean, fuck, dude, Albert and Mojo they could play each other if Android does it. Like, but then there's Android. Fuck, that's hard.
Yo, even Ty's got.
I have Ty as a dark horse for making it.
Mm-hmm.
I think like
the March bracket,
and he could really pop off, but I don't know.
Yeah,
like I think if he beats Cyrox, he's got a good chance to beat Lucky.
And this is a hot take. It could happen though. I think maybe you could possibly see Dreffen, dude, because Army. If Army loses that, I can see Dreffen fucking making top 8, honestly.
Yeah. If he can dodge Army.
Yeah.
Oh, and then if Dreffen plays Hugs is finished. So that's so frustrating for Hugs.
These brackets are. It's honestly hard to predict. I probably couldn't predict this if I tried, but it's still Bananas could do it. None, obviously. I mean, this is assuming they all lose where they're supposed to, right?
Yeah, this is a big assumption right there.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna check something real quick on Dreffen because I want to know when his last like major top. I don't know if this qualifies, but like when the last time he went to a tournament with like elite players and finished in the top 8 was. Okay, I just found it. So Viva lost Smashticalism with like
VLS. Oh my god.
Yeah, with Asin, ChuDat, Korean
DJ. That tournament.
Yeah, he did. Mutaking was so mad about that loss.
That was like fucking forever ago.
Yeah.
You have
that was 2007.
VLS.
Wow. Yeah, 2007.
You guys weren't fucking around.
Yeah.
Went to VLS. That's why I know about VLS.
So fun story after that set. Asin won VLS. So fun story about after that set, Mutaking was so mad about losing to Dreffen and Marth Sheik that he like I wish I could find the post somewhere and like I'm pretty confident in this being a true story. But he posted like on Smashwords about how like Dreffen was carried by Sheik and how like anyone could play Sheik.
No, yeah, they were beefing.
Complete moron and succeed and stuff. I remember finding like an archive post of that.
And then Dreffen, let me give you guys some game. Dreffen was like money match, or no, yeah, they were down to money match. And Mutaking said, "No chain grabs, I'll beat you with your own character." And then Dreffen was like, "Fuck out of here! If we play, I'm chain grabbing you." And so they never did it because of that dispute. It was wild. I remember that. Damn, we brought up VLS. That's crazy.
That was so. If Dreffen, a 4-God tournament, Dreffen makes it to top 8. Does Dreffen go from top 50 of all time to top 40 of all time? Who knows? Dreffen rewriting history. Dude. Now that you pointed that out, oh my God, yeah. If a rookie beats Army, Scythe, a rookie, Hugs, yeah, that's the Dreffen bracket.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big if too, And Army might not lose there. He could possibly beat Lucky right there. I'm actually curious, how Army and Mango would go if they were to play, because I've never seen it.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I would
Army,
take Mango,
I believe, is up on Lucky right now.
Yeah, if Army
point,
plays Lucky,
5 sets in a row on him.
If Army plays Lucky, I think Army's got the advantage, honestly.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, how would he do versus Mango? That's
yeah, no, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, the assumption's Mango would probably still a heavy favorite, right?
Yeah.
Right, but I think Army could like get a game or
It'll be
two,
interesting.
maybe. Yeah, he could slip one in there. But dude, this tournament's wild because even for Army to get to Lucky, he's got to play Albert, which is like, fuck, I would not want to play Albert first round. It's like the hardest first round, low key. And then there's a lot of good people. Bobby Big Balls is at this tournament.
Yeah.
Fizz is really good. He's at this tournament.
Oh, it's a Colorado Sheik, right?
Yeah, Bunk is at this tournament. Fucking Bunk's funny. He's funny. Me and him had a little exchange at Genesis. Who else is here that I see?
Does Jake 13 have a shot against None if like None is playing subpar?
I don't even know how much Jake plays these days.
I'm not sure either. Possibly. Hold on, real quick. I have some on my nose. I'm trying to wipe it. But yeah, him versus None. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Nunn's like the best Falcon at that matchup, but who knows, dude? Melee's strange these days. What about a rookie Android?
I have no clue who's going to win.
Yeah,
It's like a European player against a weird like Actually, didn't Sweden have some Mario player or something back in the day, or am I confusing that with?
My bad, guys. Did Sweden have what?
A Mario player?
Actually, no. I don't think it did. Never mind. Maybe I don't know the answer to that question. I just genuinely asked it. Maybe someone listening to this knows. How did you not know about a Swedish Mario, the greatest?
Yeah.
All right, so instead of this, who do you guys got? Who's your favorite to take the whole thing, though?
Okay, that's a more.
I don't want to say it, but
it's
Hungrybox.
It's always Hungrybox.
You think so? I think it might be Armada, bro.
I think Leffen's got this tournament. It's before.
Seven straight sets.
Evo.
7 straight sets. The H-Box.
Okay, but like watch those sets. Like,
but he doesn't win. He doesn't win.
No.
The W is what matters. The W is what matters. You can't get it.
Like you gotta watching how H-Box wins those sets. Like it always comes down to just these brief exchanges. Like Leffen plays that matchup so well for the when I watch him play it. And like I've talked to other Fox players about this. Like he plays it like very textbook, very smart. Like he adapts and everything to what he sees. It's just like in a few situations, that's all it takes to lose against Puff. Like you get grabbed and you can't react to the up throw at low percent.
I mean, if he got that turnaround up smash, world would have been different. Genesis 5, do you guys remember? He hit that up smash and I forget if it whiffed or he got the back hitbox.
He got the back hitbox.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's fair to say. Like I think the 0-7 thing or 0-6 or 5 or whatever, I think that's kind of misleading because the way Leffen is losing, the way H-Box win these games is I'm giving him a lot of credit for that, and that's why I think Hungrybox is currently a better player than Leffen. Like if you were to objectively rank them right now, but it's like I don't think it's fair to look at like 5 coin flip situations that happen to go H-Box's favor.
But I mean, when the coin flip lands on one side so many times in a row, you're gonna want to check that coin.
No, that's definitely a fair point, especially like if it's a sustainable problem, which it definitely seems to have been.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's not like Leffen is out here just getting 3-0'd by like.
Yeah, no, I
like
trust
remember that
him.
stretch in.
Oh, yeah, I was
that
just
stretch in like 2014 when Mewtwo used to just get like, or not 2014, it was like 2015 where Mewtwo would just get like ugly farmed by H-Box. Like people were like, dude, just drop Fox.
Yeah.
Like it's not working out.
I do definitely think
Like,
Leffen just needs that one set and then the tide can completely turn.
Like Leffen used to beat.
I feel that way about Mango. I think Mango, like if he can get a tournament, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was playing Fox on stream, looking pretty crispy.
Mango has glimpses where like there's times where he's playing where I'm like, damn, this fool's the best player. But then like he just can't keep it going for like, like Armada could do that for like the whole tournament. Hungry Box will do that the whole tournament. Mango, Mango, like it's hot and cold. You don't know. And even Leffen, like Leffen just like has like the same kind of hurdles, but even Leffen's consistency. Like, well, Mango's pretty consistent outside of the top, whatever, the top 8, top 6, or whatever. But it's just when it comes to the gods, it's like sometimes he beats them, sometimes he doesn't. You know, you just don't know what you're gonna get. Yeah. But I feel like if he did like you said with Leffen, like if Leffen, I agree too. Like if Leffen got the kill, or if Leffen like wins one against Hungry Box, then he's just like it's open season for him. I feel like that with Mango versus the field. Like if he like got a tournament, I think he can like. I don't want to say he would dominate or keep doing it, but at least keep getting to where like, oh, he could instead of getting like 4th or 5th or whatever, he can be like, you know, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely think this tournament's going to be huge for setting the tone for Evo. Like,
also, like he does like Leffen, as unlikely as it is, I still think he'll probably have to beat him, but Leffen doesn't have to beat HBox to win the tournament, right? Like. He can. What if he beats Armada, Mango, and then beats Armada or Mango in grand finals? Right, like that's the other thing.
It's not impossible, but
yeah, it's kind of crazy how evenly matched they all are at this point. I mean, they're not. I wouldn't say they're evenly matched, but like they're all at a point where like if one wins, it's not really a surprise. No one in the top 6 is just like shitting on another person in the top 6. Is that like remember you said Hungry Box Mewtwo King? I remember that with Armada Mewtwo King. Like.
Yeah, for sure.
Not beat him for shit, and then
well,
like, now he can do it. You know.
Well, there's definitely some rivalries that are still kind of lopsided in the top 6. Like Mewtwo King's been getting the hands by Plup lately.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
against HBox as well. He's kind of. It looks like it's kind of funny when I saw them play this year. Heading into their first match this year, I was telling people like, hey, you know, Mewtwo King and HBox, that's become really close over the last year. But then if you watch their 3 sets this year, it looks like Mewtwo King completely forgot like what he was doing in the matchup. I asked him about it on a stream. And he was like, "Yeah, I honestly just forgot what to do against Jigglypuff."
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't had to run into Hungry Box as much. You know, he'll usually play Armada and Mango first or Leffen. So the cool thing about more top players too is like you almost see less matchups of them now. Like you don't really see like Mango Hungry Box play as much as they used to, or even like what's another one? Armada. Even though Armada Hungry Box doesn't happen as often as
they've only played 3 times this year, which feels kind of low.
Yeah, that used to be like every fucking 30 minutes.
Mango Leffen have only played twice this year.
Yeah, that's and that was full bloom, huh? Yeah, so we'll see, man. I feel like. I feel like whoever wins, I feel like whoever wins this probably won't win Evo.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the exact thing. So what the fuck? You know, whoever was winning wasn't going to win Evo.
Yeah, so I don't know. For whoever, if the same person was this Evo back to back, that's huge. Yeah. I think, but I don't know, man. I feel like Armada. I don't want to say he's not going to win Evo, but I feel like. I got Armada's been looking better lately, man. Just maybe that Smash or Splash run gave me faith in him.
For sure.
All right, so Brandon's going with Armada. I'm going to Leffen. Wheat, save.
You know what? I think it's going to be a Hungry Box, but I'll put my chips on Mango for this one.
Oh, come on. I want to take Mango.
If it's for the culture, I'm definitely I'll root for Mango 100%.
Dude, we
Sorry,
oh, man. I really want to pick Mango because the last video, everyone was calling me Mango is Untitled, so biased against Mango, even though
it's such a nonsensical.
I ranked Mewtwo King over him, and apparently I'm biased towards Mango. But yeah, I'll make the safe pick and go Hungry Box, especially because...
That's one of each.
Yeah, make it
Very
work.
good.
Yeah, Mango's my guy, though.
I hope he goes Falco against HBox.
I still sense of like when I think he's playing well, I think he could just win the whole shit. Yeah. Like I feel that way, but I just seen that dude do too many crazy things too many times. So
I hope he goes Falco against HBox.
Huh?
We have this little joke where we say that he was the best player at both Shines, but he didn't win either of them.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, that's what we like. If you see him play, he looks like the best player in the world. And he got, he didn't win either.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's hard. All Falco too. Like I don't know if he's gonna bust the Fox out, but all Falco, that shit is hard. Shit is so hard when you got Peach Puff and a Fox that knows the matchup. That's just like Falco's nightmare.
I actually kind of think Leffen is the scariest opponent for Mango. I think he'll weirdly do fine against Armada and Hungry Box. Against Leffen, I'm a little more worried. Because Leffen will just like kill him off one shot out of shield.
I think it was you who said it before, Wheat, that like when Mango and Leffen play, it's just usually one-sided in one direction. Or was that you, Edwin, who said that? That like most of their sets are
I think
really one-sided.
There's an idea that Mango Leffen sets are like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is gonna be a Game 5 thriller. But like as much as that happens, like the Genesis 4 set between them is often heralded as like a classic set, you know? Like, and even their Apex, some of their Apex 2014 set, if you go all the way back, or the Big House 4 set, like, or maybe not so much the Big House 4 set, but their Apex 2014 one for sure. But like sometimes when they, like a lot of times when they play, because it's Fox Falco, which is such a fast matchup, like if you're lagging behind in the matchup, even just a little bit against your opponent, you're going to get like blown up. So a lot of Mango Leffen sets are sometimes just blowouts in one direction.
That's what Mango's told me. He said our sets were just one-sided. I was like, damn. He's like, last couple times we played one person, like, I think they just keep 3-0ing each other, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
3-1.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That matchup's, if you're playing bad on either side, you just get your shit destroyed. So it makes sense, especially at that level. They're not gonna fuck up.
Yeah. So I think it's so hard to predict this bracket because like every one of these matches I could see going either way. It's just so many like coin flips.
Yeah. Nah.
It's so funny because we feel like that, and that's definitely true. But like weirdly, just above everyone else, just these top four, we have faith in that they will not. Like we have a lot of faith that they are not going to lose.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot more at this tournament because like there's sometimes like people in that like striking range, like a Wizrobe, that can make an upset before top 8. But I don't think there's really that same thing here.
Well, like there's no after the top 6, there's nobody else in like the top 10, right? Like no Axe, no Zane, no like Wiz.
The talent level kind of drops off.
Yeah.
So there's like kind of a gap there. Like I'm shocked Zach isn't at this tournament. That's bad. Because he's usually on that. That dude grinds. But yeah, you don't after that. Like after the top 4, it's like top 20 kind of. You know. That's what it seems like. Damn, this tournament is stacked. My boy Blues Clues can make a run. I'm looking at his bracket too. That's the homie. Because he's got to play A. He plays Peach. He does good against ALP apparently, and that's into bananas. That's possible, but who knows? Yeah, I don't know what else you guys got.
We got you on the show, right?
Yep. The talk with me, or the top 8. When we talk about top 8, is the top. I don't know what is. Are we just talking about just
man,
old school stuff or just stuff?
We talk old school. So why don't we start with something just kind of basic? Yeah. How you doing, man? What have you been up to?
Yo, thank you for asking. I'm good, man. I went to Tapkin's wedding. I also saw my dad, my uncle, my family. That was cool. Did the drive last night. Drove back home. I've been good, man. I'm trying to get this grind in, but I haven't really. Like once I got back, it was just like I was tired as fuck, and then I got to clean the house up. And so I've been doing that today, along with this podcast. But tomorrow I'm trying to like really go in. You know, it's hard because our main local I hosted, so I can't compete because it would take too long. So
yeah, understood.
I'm about to just try to get on the stream Melee grind.
What you doing outside of Melee?
Lately, lately I've been focusing on just like my like relationships with people, just like, you know, trying to get things. 'Cause like there's times like my family doesn't live in NorCal, so it makes things kind of complicated. And like it's just easy to forget about that kind of shit, to focus on like, oh, like, Smash or school or work or whatever you got going, but I've been really like making it a thing in my head to like try to visit my mom, my dad, talk to them and shit like that. Just like been real like about that lately. So I haven't been able to play as much Melee as I want to. But that's kind of outside of Smash. That's been like my main focus lately. So it's been pretty good. I think it's been good for me like mentally. Because then when I come back to like focus on stuff, it's really easy. It's just more easier to think clearly. But that's what I've been up to.
Do your parents like know your? This is gonna sound weird, but like, what's their response to your like legacy?
They do. So the craziest shit, right? So I was breaking the whole rundown of my family about my dad's side. I was breaking it down to them about it. And my dad was like, and mind you, I've never talked to him about this. I've never told him about this. I've never done anything. He goes, yeah, Brandon is fucking ranked 77th in the world. And then my whole family fucking just stops and they're like, and then like our family friend, his name is George, and he was like, yo, that's fucking deep, bro. That's crazy. I was like, it's not as crazy as it sounds. I promise. I mean, I'm flattered by that, but it's still like, there's so many people that could beat my ass, dude. That's why I don't value it like I should. But it's cool knowing that he took the time to dig and find that. I don't know where he found it, and I never told him. My uncle, like, him and my uncle did some research, and they must have found like top 100 or something and saw me. So that's crazy. I didn't even tell him like my tag, so I don't know how the fuck he.
Hopefully, they didn't find the older videos on the Waffle 77.
Yeah, but yeah, it was crazy. I explained that to them all this weekend, like what that was like, and that was kind of trippy.
How's their response? Are they supportive? They thought it was cool?
Yeah, they're supportive. They'll crack some jokes and shit because it's like just black families be on some ghetto shit sometimes, so they'll just like make fun of me. But it's like all in love. Like when they hear that like I've traveled to a lot of places, they're like, damn, that's kind of cool. Like he's doing something with himself. Because like it just could be a lot worse. So the fact that like they see me like traveling and stuff. 77th in the world, like my dad, you can tell he was so happy when he said it. Like I can tell it's not the first time he's told people that. So like I guess that's kind of cool,
How are they when you started being more active in the scene, both as a video uploader, player?
Well, my dad, he wasn't really around. So my mom, she was like, she didn't like. I think both of them knew like I played, but they didn't know like where it was going. I mean, none of us did really. So, my mom was always supportive. Though I was lucky enough to have like a mom that was really like supportive of Melee and stuff. Cause she just like, well, there's just so much more shit you could be doing. So I'm glad that like you're just playing video games. So she would like, if I wanted to go to a tournament, just like she would just let me go, Because I know a lot of people have like that kind of, like a lot of young kids have that issue. Like their parents don't let them go to anything. But my mom was always pretty cool about that. As long as everything was good on the house front, like she didn't really care. That was cool.
So how did you get introduced to Melee?
My friend Jamie, hold on real quick. I'm gonna turn this light on real fast. My bad. It was getting dark. My friend Jamie, I grew up with him. He's at this park. He's a Yoshi player, and he was just like into the game crazy. And we would play, and he would just destroy me. And then in our high school, we met. I don't know if you guys ever heard of ChuDat, but
I know his anti-icy god.
Yeah. So then we met him, and he just destroyed us. And then that's kind of how it all started out. And just been playing, been grinding, trying to get better. Still trying to do that. And yeah, man, I like the rest is pretty much history. And then I met like KFCs and like I met this player Meat. He was a really good Luigi back in the day. A lot of people don't know me. Dark Mike, rest in peace, the homie. I met all of them, and then I moved to the Bay Area, and then that's when I started kicking it with Phil. And then I like after
So what was the timeline like?
Phil, well, when I started kicking it with Phil a lot, like 2008, like mid 2008, and we were just grinding. We lived probably like 10 minutes away from each other, so it was like
17 or 18 then, right?
Yeah. I was Phil's a couple years older than me. And we just grinded that shit. And then Daryl too, like three of us, we were just fucking there all day, all night. Like and then we started getting invited to go to the DBR house because DBR is cool with Phil. It was hard. They're like the group too. So, you know, once we got that, then that's when next thing you know, we all just started randomly getting ranked. So that's pretty much my I don't know, come up, if you want to call it.
It's kind of strange that your come up both as a more competitive player and as a figure in the scene came at a time when the scene, you know, was supposed to die, right? Like Brawl had just come out in early 2008. So what was that like entering the scene?
I mean, Melee just was, it was pretty much like you just played it if you liked it. You know, there was no idea of like a sponsor or anything like that, or just traveling. Like that idea was kind of like done. It was just, you know, if you just played it, you liked it, and the local regions would drop their videos. And I wasn't the only one. I think I get a lot of credit, but there's still like Stab by Hippie, Prog. He uploaded a lot of videos on the East Coast. And like those three channels were like the main hubs of like just Smash at that point. And I mean, for a while it was kind of dead, but it just like once like more regionals, like SoCal and NorCal really came together because we would have tournaments and a lot of SoCal would come up to our tournaments and we would go down there. And I think like the fact that we like kept it so tight like that kept it strong. Like the fact that all the top players would still like make time to go to tournaments, like even though the game was dead, like said a lot, you know. So that was cool. You know, like Mango not liking Brawl really helped our scene, you know. So.
What gave you the idea to start uploading videos?
I used to always kind of do it. I used to like it, just I thought it was fun. And then seeing a set between Falconist and Side Inspector, it was like a really crazy set. It was like a 10-game set, and nobody, like, if you weren't in the room, it just was a lost set. Like, it just didn't get recorded. And I hated the fact that, like, that never got recorded. And I was like, fuck, like, somebody's got to record this shit if we're going to, you know. Zoo was doing it for a while, too, but he moved to SoCal. And it was just like, there was nobody that was recording anything. So it's just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to just start recording videos. And that was it. The rest is history, man. It's kind of crazy.
So I'm gonna skip all the stuff. I bet people probably would want me to ask about Wombo Combo, but I feel like you've answered that so many times that I'm just gonna
low key, low key.
So I'm gonna ask you something else instead. Can you just kind of give a brief overview of your character maining history? Like you had Doc, Falco,
I used
Fox.
to main Doc, and then I stopped playing Doc because like I don't know, I had more fun playing Spaceys. And I didn't like the idea of the rat race. Like, this is what I'm gonna explain. Like, because there was so few Docs, you know, everybody compared all of us, right? And I mean, this is before like Dewan like went God mode at this point. Like, I just hated that being part of that bubble. Oh, he's better than this guy because of this results, right? But like when you play like Fox and Falco, like there's so many of them, dude. You can't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you can still compare Fox and Falcos, but dude, like the ratio is like wild, especially Fox nowadays. So it was that, and then I wanted to play a more fast-paced game. I felt like I was playing really slow with Doc, patient, and I don't know, I wanted some. I think a lot, like my life just changed as a person at that time, and I think that was like the transition of me just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna main space because that looks way more fun. Even if I get destroyed, whatever, you know. So that's how I ended up switching. It was a cool little transition. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. But yeah, I made Doc into like Falco Fox, until more recently just Falco, but like I've been playing some Fox too. I've been playing a lot of Marth and Doc too lately.
Really?
Yeah. I think Doc is still good, but I don't know. Like I want to try it at a national, like not like an Evo, but like a low tier city or some shit. I really want to try it, but I'm just hella scared because like I could just be playing Falco. Why am I like wasting this to play Doc? But I think I'm gonna. People are telling me I should do it, but then a lot of my friends are like, "Don't do it, dude. This is a waste of a tournament. You're just gonna get washed."
Yeah, and then some random YouTuber will rank you low because of it.
Nah, dude, it's all love, dude.
Yeah, no.
Like I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. I'm like 50-50. We'll see. I want to try to at least do well with Falco before I get to that point. Or Fox, like do well. Because I never thought I've done like, at least in the last year or so, especially, like I haven't really done anything. So I'm trying to do something again. But yeah, that's my character history. I don't know.
What's your so obviously people recognize you also for being from the post Brawl era, like 2008, 2012ish, even if you want to go that far. So what's your favorite? What do you miss most about what the scene was like around that time?
Ooh, what I miss most? I kind of miss like the sense of community. I feel like it was a little more closer because we had to be. You know, whereas like now, I'm not saying that we're not close now, but it's just like it was just more like different because I guess just there being less people, you know, everybody like you knew those 20 people at that tournament. It'd be like 20 people, but they're all like, imagine like these 20 are like top 100, but like everybody's like close because you know we're pretty much all we got at that point. So I like that. I mean, we still do it, but it's more like it's just like bigger social, like I don't want to say like hierarchies or realms, but like it's just like because there's more people involved and like money's involved, like it's just more of a bigger thing. Whereas like back then, everybody had to go to their jobs and shit after the tournament, so it was just like, you know, it's just like that camaraderie was always there. That's what I miss that a lot about that, and just everyone's curious and everyone's drive was there too, because no one really proved anything yet, so everybody was just trying to get better. It's kind of why I like seeing newcomers because they have that. I guess I miss those things.
What do you miss the least then, or what are you glad you moved on from that?
Fuck. Like hygiene is better.
Is it though? I don't know, man.
Yeah. That I think that stigma, that stereotype doesn't exist anymore, but like it got created from that era because it was just like, dude, I saw one kid, I don't even know who he is, but it was at this one tournament in our house. It was like 100-man tournament. This was Brawl came out, and it was melee too. And this guy had fucking dandruff, just all, and his hair was like long like yours, and it was just dandruff everywhere, bro. Shit was gross. It was disgusting. And like this was in like 2008, 2009. It's like you would never see that shit like now. At least I haven't. I mean, I've you know, I've been around a couple smashes where I'm like, yo, you know, but it's not like that shit was just crazy. You know, I was like, bro, you need to, where's the shampoo at? It was so bad. It was so bad. And he was sweating and shit. It was hot that day. Yeah. You don't see shit like that anymore, personally. And just like the tools you have to get better are kind of cool too. That's cool. Like net play, I wish net play existed when I was fucking 16, 17. Oh my God. And like twin hack packs. Like back then you just needed your homie, like, yo, check to the right while I do this. Like now you can just turn on a hack pack. What else? I don't know. Those are like the main things. But that like what I don't miss is that shit. That and it was harder to get around because like Uber didn't exist. Like communication wasn't like Facebook was kind of just becoming a thing back then. So yeah, like getting to a tournament was a lot harder than it is now.
What do you think kept you playing even through signs that the game was dying or that it may not be worth the investment of time that you were putting into it?
I don't know. It was just like I just like the game. Probably maybe a form of escapism too, but more just like I just thought the game. I still think the game is just really cool, man. Like I have a lot of fun trying to. I have a lot of fun trying to like that idea of just like testing wits against another person and just like challenging myself to try to like improve at something. And like it was like one of those things where like I can see results to a point where like I think I should keep going. And I've always felt like that with Melee. That's why I just like never stop because it's just a dope game. And like I felt like I haven't done anything as hard as that, you know? Usually like Melee is the one game where you could think you've got it figured out and then get shit on. And then, you know, like most things like that in life, like you usually when you think you got it down, you got it down. And it's like crazy how much like the game just always keeps you alert. Like just keeps your brain sharp. I don't know. I like that feeling. And learning new shit. And I feel like Melee always learned too. But yeah, I don't know if you guys got anything else, Edwin.
I got a question.
Got way too much, but I'll let Week go.
Okay, go ahead.
So I got a question. We talked a lot about you as a player. I got a question about commentary since that's what a lot of people who may not know you very well know you for.
Right.
So we've seen like commentary change definitely in the course of your time in the scene. Sure. What do you think? Like, do you think that you have a guess of what the future for commentary might look like? You know, we've obviously gotten more like esports, as people like to call it. Mm-hmm. But you know, where do you think we'd go from here?
Damn, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I think lately it's been going back, like it's kind of going full circle. I think like there was a point where we were going super esports, and now we're kind of like, nah, we're not into that, and now we're not. Like, but who's to say? I legitimately don't know. I just know like I feel like lately like commentary has just been like I think people just like the vibe of certain people.
Yeah.
More than even what they say, honestly. But yeah, commentary is weird because it's just like it's its own thing now. It's a thing, and then it's just like its own thing. As far as where it's going, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I legitimately don't know. I wish I did. My bad, I can't answer your question. It's just,
I mean,
it's so hard to imagine. Like, I think it would all depend on like where just Melee goes as a whole, obviously. Yeah. But
I mean, it's tough to say. Like, it depends on who's still here. I think you're right in that aspect. Like, if in 5 years from now, whatever, like neither Scar nor Toph or even you don't do commentary anymore, I think commentary does look different. But I think it's because of that, and it's not the other way around. It's not that, the commentators are being changed. So I think you're right about that. People just like the personalities.
Right. And then, this era is going to grow to new people too, right? So like Fendy, right? Like, I mean, he's not new, but like in comparison to like us, like he's still in like his own generation, right? So I mean, I think people have been seeing that, like a lot of that, like you see like your Fish and DJ and like Fendy, and like you seeing a lot more people, a lot more faces that can compensate for just like us being there or just our lack. Like you have more options to select from, which is kind of cool. I think with commentary, I think it'll be good as long as you have enough variety, right? Not everybody could be funny. Not everyone could break shit down. Maybe there's a whole other idea of commentary that someone brings to the table, right? Well, I don't know. We're gonna see. as long as people keep playing and people are willing to commentate, I think it'll sustain itself for sure. There'll always be a demand for it if it just continues.
What has your personal approach been to good commentary?
Just for me, I try my best to just not be biased. You know, I try. I mean, I know sometimes bias is okay, but then I know a lot of people can't stand it. And sometimes when I listen to it, I can't stand it too. When people like are too loud and talk over each other, it's like what I try to do when I commentate, or at least this is how I approach life. I try to not like put the attention on me. And I think when you commentate and you put the attention on yourself, it kind of like waters down like everything. You know, you guys heard commentary where there's that one guy who's just talking over the other guy, hella just talking about shit that only he's thinking about, not really paying attention to what the other guy's saying, stuff like that. Like, just not. I guess what makes good commentary is not doing those things more than what you should be doing. It's like, to me, it's like what you really shouldn't do.
Really?
Because I think what you should do is kind of subjective, right? Like Scar has a way of doing commentary and DJ has a way of doing commentary, and they're both really good, right? But like, I think it's but they don't just talk over each other, you know, or they don't just. Scar sometimes be going on, but like sometimes, but they know what not to do. I feel like, that's what to me makes someone good. I mean, commentary to me is subjective too. It's like music, but like, you know, what makes what I like at least is when someone's just like considerate of those things, you know. And sometimes you're gonna slip up. You're human too. I don't expect people to be perfect on the mic. That's a flaw in itself. But like, you know, just trying not to do certain things, I guess.
Definitely.
Makes sense.
I want to bring up a point about that is that our very own Ambi Sinister was talking about something similar on Twitter recently about how he thinks that a lot of commentators, like the mid-level, are more focused on what they could be criticized for.
Right.
And for that reason, they're not making these kind of like leaps in their commentary. So they're kind of, you know, they're thinking that if they were to do something a little different than maybe another commentator does, that's something that they could be, you know, criticized for from the Twitch chatter or something like that. So that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, I think with too, like, especially when you're coming up, like, people, when they're just unfamiliar with you, they just, no matter what you do, dude, like,
yeah,
you know, it's just, and that shit'll never stop. Like, you can fucking say the most fucking, you can literally say, Martin Luther King could have made his speech on Twitch and motherfuckers would have found a way to match that shit. Like, straight up, dude. Like, it's just like, dude, like, it does not matter what you say. You know, I think when mid-level commentators, like, the problems they have, I think they try, like, and rightfully so, like, they want to come up, they want to be like that ascension, so they try so hard to feel that. It's just like, I don't know, you're talking to a girl, like, if you keep texting her and you're thirsty, like, she's gonna fucking like shy away, right? And I feel like sometimes mid-level commentators suffer from that. Like, they wanna just be like the guy so bad instead of just like focusing on your thing and just, you know, like when you're called, you just do your, you know, you don't really see. At least I approach it like, you know, if when people want me to do commentary, great. If not, I don't take it personal. You know, it is what it is. I'm not like, oh, I've done X, Y, and Z, blah 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 blah. I don't, you know, I'm just gonna. If the people want me to do it, I'm gonna do it. And I hope, like, and I don't even know what mid-level is, just like super non-popular commentators or whatever. I just hope they approach it with like that in mind, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm gonna just do this and I'm gonna have fun with it and, you know, see where it goes. Instead of just like trying so hard to look the part, just like do your thing.
Do you think that's why people like your commentary a lot? Because that sort of earnestness is very apparent and something you're going for?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I hope so. I can't, like, I wouldn't really know because I'd have to ask everyone. I'm definitely blessed, like, that people like it enough for people to want to, like, have me on a big slot and no one, like, be upset about it. I think that's a blessing. I would hope so. I just try to be as honest as I can, and I also just try to use myself as an example. I never wanted to be one of those like I don't want to be a commentator who clearly isn't out here like showing you what he can do with his actions, like doing the. I think that's why people like Fendy more, because it's like you see him commentate, right, but you also see him trying his ass off in these brackets to like get top 96 or whatever, right? It's like, yeah, he's not in the top 100 yet, but like the fact that like it's a possibility, and like you respect that because like not only because this guy has to at some point go on the mic and talk about things he knows in the game, right? So it makes him more credible when he goes out there and tries to like figure it out, right? It's like if I gave you tips on how to play basketball, or if Jordan gave you tips on how to play basketball, whose advice would you take, right? Yeah. And so you take fucking Jordan's advice first 100 times, and like I think that's like the element that I try to create with commentary. I know there's like different types of avenues, but I definitely want to like live what I'm. And I'm not saying other people don't, because I don't think that. I think most commentators do. I just, for me personally, it would be weird if I like commentated and like never like ever played Melee or like, you know, it's why I've never done another game, because I don't understand. If you ever see me commentate in another game, I promise you that I play that game and that like I know something to some extent. I've like proved something to myself to feel like I commentated. But I don't know. I can't like do that if I don't know any of those things. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm going on a rant, but yeah, that's kind of just how I feel about my commentary. Like, or at least why people might like it is just because like they know that like it's like the moment like Mango or Hurrybox or whatever, when they jump on the mic, people love their commentary because they know like those guys like they do this, like, you know. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's something special about hearing top player on commentary.
Right. It's like you don't question whether or not they know what they're talking about, but you just listen to them because you want to understand where they're coming from. And like I think that's the dope part. Yeah. About like commentary.
So I got a question from Leon in chat. And it's, who are your favorite new school commentators? And I guess take new school however, you know, however you prefer.
Leon, is that YCZ Leon?
That's YCZ Leon,
yeah. Y'all love Leon. What's up, Leon? Who are my favorite new school commentators? Damn. Well, like, let's define what's new school.
I mean, that's up to you, I guess. I know it's kind of a nebulous concept.
I mean, are DJ and Vish considered new school? Because I don't know. I don't think so. But
yeah, it's hard to say.
They weren't commentating like hell long ago either. I mean, I like both of them a lot. It's hard because I like with commentary, I like half listen or I'll just mute it. I mute myself a lot. Like I mute myself more than anybody. Who else is good? Slime's funny sometimes. I like the Raptor dude from SoCal too. I like how he breaks things down. Like I don't always like funny shit, but who else? I mean those are the ones that come to mind.
Are there any old school names that you looked up to for inspiration for your own commentary?
Nah, there wasn't. I mean, commentary wasn't a thing. Like, yeah, I wasn't really a thing when.
Sorry, I wasn't. I meant more like in terms of sports commentators. You really like that influence your style.
Nah, I mean I like Marv Albert, but like I don't commentate.
You're definitely not Marv.
I just like Marv Albert. My favorite commentators right now are Yipes and Chris Matrix, dude. Those dudes are fucking
yeah.
That shit is hella true. Oh my god. I like literally will watch some Dragon Ball just to hear them talk some shit. It's just hella funny. Like at the end, like when Cell powers up his intro and they just yell, ah! That shit is so funny, bro. I don't know. Those are my favorite right now. But like all those guys, I don't think they're like new school or anything. I guess, like I said, like Raptor's pretty cool. He looks like he's actually trying to understand what's going on. Yeah. And then I can't after that.
It's a tough
So
question.
Sleepy K's cool too, you know? There's so many of them. Like, fuck. Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of commentators. I'd have to like sit down with a commentator book and be like, I like this guy, I like this guy. But yeah, I don't know. Most commentary is like, man, it's either like when it's like when it's good, it's really good, or it's just like, dude, this shit goes on mute. Like, I'll mute just shit real quick. Like, I'll mute commentary so fast. I mute myself a lot, like all the time. But yeah, I don't know. You guys got anything else?
I'll ask one more thing, and then
Yeah.
I know we've been here for a while, so
No, I mean I'm not tripping, dude. Ask away, whatever you got. I'm down to keep answering.
Oh, Edwin will keep you for another 3 hours.
We can talk. Brandon, you and I can go back and forth about Melee history. We can talk, dude. But I guess a good way to close this off is what are your current player goals and what are your current commentator goals?
Commentary. I'll start commentary. I think just try to make it enjoyable for everybody. And just come when I'm needed, and just kind of try to learn about the game and matches more. I remember I was playing Pikachu and Yoshi just because I felt like I had to like Axe and Amstel were in so many positions where like you gotta commentate their sets. So I want to know something about those characters. So like I was like looking at like Practical gave me some frames on Yoshi and like some shit on Pikachu. I'm like I don't plan on ever playing those characters, but just for that sense, I want to know like why they do what they do. As far as a player, like man, I just got to get back in the swing of things. I think I haven't been competing because I've been hosting tournaments. But I mean, I net play a lot, but I got to get back in the swing. I don't think I'm like top 100 right now. Like as far as like results, I don't have anything to really go off of, and I did really bad at Smash Splash. My goal, like the dream would be top 20. Another dream would be like top 50, because I don't think I've ever been top 50, but I can be top 50. I know I can. It's just a matter of like being more diligent about. Like I really want to try to be a top 20 player, but I got to be really, really diligent about how I approach the game, not just on a game level, but up here. And I've been like getting my like, well, I mean mentally, like emotional health, all that shit. I've been working on that shit pretty hard. So I think I'm at a point where I can do it, but I still gotta like put the pieces together. But I'm hoping.
Surprised to see it.
I'm hoping I like top 20 is a stretch. I know that's a stretch because I'm ranked at top 50. I legit. I think I'm just as good as like probably anyone that is ranked 50 or below. Like even higher. Like I can. It's just a matter of just get the game. I also understand destroy. I like beat me, so I don't let that ambition get to my head too much.
Oh no.
My dream goal is 20, but I have to have a plan to reach.
Brandon, we're losing you. You're getting all robot-y.
Uh-oh. I hear like some mic feedback.
Oh, there you go. You're good now.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Did I freeze?
Yeah, you were just, for a little bit.
Okay, everybody stop. All right. Wait. Did you guys hear? Did the audio cut out too?
Yeah, we missed the last like 30
Yeah,
seconds.
we missed.
Okay. So what I was saying. Okay. No, you're good. I thought I was fucking just like talking in the air. All right.
No, you're good.
So what I was saying, like the dream is like top 20. You know, top 50. Like that's a goal too. That in itself will be hard. And I just have to be more diligent about that mentally, like as far as like how to approach situations. Like if I get the wins, how to handle them. If I get the losses, how to handle them. How to recover from like situations that like would take a toll on me. Like if a crowd's cheering against me, how to handle it. Like those little things, I think is what I need to work on. But I just gotta like give. Like I've always had a confidence issue where I just always like will sell myself short, and I think how I'm gonna approach this now is like I'm really gonna try to like just know I'm the shit and that I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Top 20 is probably that's what I'm aiming for. That's what would make me feel good. Top 50 I wouldn't really care for, but I think that's just a good like benchmark. For now, it's just like trying to like not get off top 100 because I know I'm declining. And I'm okay with admitting that, but I definitely want to just keep grinding to try to get better. I still got the ambition too, man. I really want to prove it. So when I'm trying to get a SaveAsUntitled video about
full circle,
that's the goal.
Waffles is suppressing rank. I'm trying to get that video. That's my goal.
Let's go.
That's my goal, because I know if I get that video, that means I'm out here. Like,
hey,
right,
you never know. If you get a major top 8 or so, you'll make it on the Smash history.
No, for
top
sure.
100.
I'm trying to prove it. I don't want him to make that video because I'm just saying this shit. I want him to be like, damn, I actually need to make this video. Watch fucking killing it. So like I just want to have like a season where like my performance is just kind of undeniable. I've never had that before. I've had that once in NorCal, but it even still didn't feel right. I want to just one time. I gotta see that top 20 because I've always been able to do it, but I just think I kind of hold myself back. So that's what I'm aiming for, and to get back in the top 5 in NorCal because you know they be out here, man. You know, keeping your boy down, beating me in these brackets. I gotta bring it back. So I still have goals though. The fire is definitely still there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So you want to be full-time Smash player, Summit 8 invitee. That's it.
I mean, that'd be goal. That'd be the goal. I'm not close to that yet. I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I am. It's gonna be a lot of work and a lot of losing. I know a lot of shit before I like see. It's like, have you guys seen Shawshank? Like,
yeah.
You guys seen that at the end where I gotta climb through my sewer of shit first. So I'm ready for that. I'm getting myself ready for that. And like, it's like, it sucks because we haven't, like I said, I've been hosting all the tournaments. The good news is we got Wednesday night fights in NorCal now.
Oh yeah.
I can't go tomorrow, but hopefully if they have one the week before Evo or that Wednesday of Evo, I'm gonna go and then to Evo. So it's been a while since I've entered a tournament, but I'm trying to get it back. The last tournament I went to, it wasn't stacked at all, but I won. So I was sick. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I do top 20 is what I'm aiming for. Hopefully I can get it sooner or later. Trying to get my SaveAsUntitled video, man. Trying to be on that list. You know, that's a good goal for the end of the year, I think.
All right. I'll be watching.
Hey man, we hope you do well.
Man. Yeah, thank you, man. I'm gonna try, man. And I really do appreciate you guys having me. And it was a lot of good conversation.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, man. I'm always down for discussion and conversation. So this was definitely cool. And I hope you guys just keep it up. You know, you guys got a lot of good things going for yourselves. So yeah, man, just keep working, keep grinding. I want to see the rest of this ranking, man. I'm fiending to see like the top 10. So yeah, man. I respect you guys' work, man. Always. And you know, I endorse all of you guys 100%, man. You guys should all hit these guys with the follows. You know, they're homies. Edwin, guys.
I gotta see you first in line, Waff. The book release.
Of Melee signing.
I'm down, dude. I'm gonna buy a couple books, man. I'm down, dude. Like I do respect what you guys are doing, like, because a lot of that stuff is hard, and on top of that, you guys gonna have opinions about what you do. Anytime you get somewhere and you're getting better at it, motherfuckers just come out the woodwork. Yeah, but I'm glad you guys are just stand strong and like using each other as a way to help each other grow. And I respect it, and I just hope you guys just keep grinding with each other on top of your own things that you guys got going on in your lives. And everybody in chat too, because chat lives matter, and you guys are shit. So shout outs to I don't know how many people are watching this shit, but yeah, man. I see K Beats, Algebra, that's Damien, Fairfax, Gerbo something. Yeah, Gerbo declared. Shout outs to everybody here.
Yeah,
but
that's probably about it for the show. Again, thank you for coming.
Wait, one last thing.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on. I forgot to do this the last 2 weeks.
If my rants kept you here.
No, it's great.
Last 2 weeks, I've forgotten to do this. I posted the link in the chat again, but I want to give a special shout out to our 2 subscribers, Jackzilla and Stock Money. Your guys, your support is really appreciated for the podcast.
For sure.
And definitely it means a lot to us. You guys, Save will put the link in the description per usual. Hopefully. And I put it in the chat if you guys are watching this live. But thank you, Jack and Stock, so much for your support. And
yeah, man.
Anyone else
we need those subscriptions, man. You guys need to hook it up, man. I was trying to see if I had a Prime available. I was about to drop the Prime in there, but I'll get around to you guys. Donation or something, man. Just keep
we
it
got
up,
a
man.
Patreon and everything. The page.
Before we go, I just want to let listeners know that Edwin, Ambi, and I are all going to be at Evo. Anyone wants to, stop us and tell us why we're putting Mango too high or some shit like that,
or why we're biased, or why we're
why we like absent page too much or something. Yeah, feel free.
That's what's up, man. I'll see you guys there. Wait, Save, you're not going to Evo, but Edwin and Wheat, you guys are going to Evo?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. No, we'll definitely link up, man.
All right, awesome.
And again, this was amazing, man. Guys, keep it up.
Yeah. So now that we've got our self-shilling out of the way, I think we can wrap it up. Again, thank you, Brandon, for being here for the episode. A much longer than we normally do, but I think it was fun. It was just kind of chilling out, talking about Melee. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks, guys, for coming.
Peace.
All right. Peace out, guys.